welcome back to another episode of Fish and Grits, the podcast. My name is Ryan. I am Juned. I'm joined by I'm Juned. Maybe it's that whole June bug challenge that's going around that's in my head. I'm joined by my usual co-hosts, Micah Poole and Marco Restrepo, who got onto me for not introducing them and said it was awkward with the handoff.
Yeah. I liked it this way.
So from now on, you'll never hear them speak again unless spoken to. Not your turn to talk.
I told Marco that his hair made him look like Russell Wilson today.
Yeah.
Like, oh, what the hell?
Or The Weeknd.
God damn. Y'all just slaying me right now. Hey, those guys are ultra successful.
Man, shit.
Did you know The Weeknd is the most popular artist in the world right now? At 67.9 million streams per month.
Why? Because of the Pepsi commercial?
I'm sure that has something to do with it, but I think it's just that one song is just super popular and overplayed.
I mean, his songs have broad appeal to them.
Yeah.
Anybody can listen to him.
Right.
So, I mean, that's the niche. If you want, like, you may not be cool or like in the, like, these are the best artists of all times, but if you can hit that niche, kind of like how where Flo Rida hit for a little while, Pitbull hit for a little while, but like, you know, now The Weeknd's hitting.
But he's them with talent. Like, he actually.
Right. Yeah, he is far more talented. Yeah, don't. Sorry. Thank you. I did not want to speak of The Weeknd as if he was in the same ability level as those two.
Let's not criticize Flo Rida, as Kroger is booming off of his song.
I know, they really are. It's just crazy.
Oh, I forgot about that.
Yeah.
All the parents are like, "This is a cool song."
They're right.
No, Cameron, I'm right here.
My mom is like, "Oh, I love that commercial." Like,
I will say though, remember when I was shooting that Lonely Streets video at your house, Ryan? My 80s influence song. Yes. I'll still hold that I'm the one who brought back the 80s vibes that Weeknd jumped on my bandwagon and got a #1 hit off of. So
The Weeknd's actually one of your subscribers.
Exactly, must be. Must be.
I mean, hey, there have been stranger things that have happened in the music industry where big time artists find, you know, lesser known artists and just hawk their shit.
The obscure.
Yeah, and
the outsider.
Like, that's my song, and everyone's like, oh, "Okay, guy."
Okay, guy.
Yeah, right.
If you're on the internet, anyone can find you.
All right.
You think we were joking when we said Thomas Dimitrov was one of our listeners? So,
oh man,
today is February 2nd, 2021. In the current world, again, the coronavirus is booming. Because
like Dogecoin.
Like Dogecoin. To the moon! Yeah, so like everyone's like, stay at home. And it's like, is that even realistic at this point? Everyone's pretty much back at work.
Yeah.
Right.
It's just be safe, you know, wear your face masks, stay away from people if you can. Go from work to home to the store if you need to. Cut out all the other things you don't need to do. But we're nearing 100,000 deaths in January.
Just in January?
Just in January. 100,000 deaths. I think we're in the 90s right now.
Wowzers.
Oh, I'm sorry. No, I think it ended like just shy of 100,000.
Okay.
Wow.
But also, I don't know if you guys saw this, but Jeff Bezos is stepping down.
Yes,
as
I did see that.
The chairman of Amazon. The same day that Amazon made a plea to the White House to prioritize their workers for the vaccine.
Prioritize.
Us first. It's like, yeah, I mean, they have been out there, but Jeff Bezos was like, nah, I'm not with that.
Peace, guys. I'm no longer an employee of this company.
You want dibs? Nah, I don't fuck with that. I'm out.
I definitely step in his role as the interim CEO.
Right.
I'd even give myself a few $1 billion pay cut.
I heard some crazy stat today that in their first year in like 99 or 98, whenever it was, they made 1.9 billion in the year. Or maybe not their first year, but in 1999 they made 1.9 billion in a year. Now they make 1.9 billion every 30 minutes.
Could you imagine? Because I can't. Like my head can't even wrap itself around that type of wealth.
Bruh.
To where literally you look at the world and you go, I can buy any of this.
Right.
He could literally buy a country if he wanted to.
Yes.
But the funny thing is that when you're that rich, they don't even take your money. They're like, here you go.
Yeah, take it. You know you can buy it.
What do you want? Here you go.
Your endorsement alone will make us more money than what you will pay for this.
If I had that kind of money, imagine how upgraded this podcast would be.
We'd have a studio.
Yeah, we'd be somewhere.
We'd have someone doing all of our edits for us.
We'd sit in a Chinese oven like Joe Rogan does.
I was watching him the other day, and I was like, man, I don't see how he stares at that red light the whole time. That would make me angry.
Right. But I think that's how he stays. You know, he's a fighter. He stays in that mode.
I don't know. Joe Rogan stays pretty mellow.
He does, but it's like a silent rage. If you really listen to him, there's a silent intensity.
He just wants to kill some shit. I mean, when he says that, like those times that he's like, yeah, I just want to go and hunt some shit and kill something. It's like,
get some elk meat.
I want to go hunt some elk. Have you tried elk meat?
No, I have not.
I haven't either. But I mean,
I don't know where I can get it.
I'm sure at the farmer's market. That would be my guess.
What do you do with elk meat? Do you? Eat it. I know, but how do you prepare it?
I mean, you
just like
probably
all the other meats.
Probably similar to like venison or something.
Like an elk steak.
Mm-hmm. You probably could do steaks, jerky, shanks.
I'm down for some elk meat.
Pretty much any of those high density meats, you cook them all just about the same. Doesn't matter what animal it comes from. All the muscle fibers are just about the same. Sometimes you just have to cook them a little bit longer because they're a little denser. Yeah, that's other than SpaceX just blew up another rocket. That's pretty much it as far as current events.
And GameStop.
Did we not cover that last time?
No.
Nah.
Oh,
that happened.
Y'all want to talk about that? Because that infuriates me.
Yeah.
I mean, tell us why it makes you mad. Why are you mad, Ryan?
Because it's a regulated market. That's why. Because these free markets that what America is supposed to be built on these days, that's a facade. That's a dream. That's a pipe dream. That's just something they tell you to make you happy. But in all reality, the ultra rich run the country. And if you figure it out, they have the power to cut it off.
Mm-hmm.
Right. They can manipulate it, but you can't.
Yeah. Well,
all the excuses they were making made no sense. It was like none of the offered excuses were legit.
Bruh. But I mean, that's what frustrates me. It lets you know how, I guess, brainwashed some folks can be. It's like we fear. Wow, Ryan. We fear things like socialism, or basically making things accessible for everybody. But with situations like that, when the rich, it just lets you know why the rich get richer and the poor get poorer. This wage gap just keeps increasing, and it's because they rigged the game, so only them and their select few can continue to get wealthier.
Right. And a handful of people who get lucky like they won the lottery.
Yeah.
But I know what it was like.
Don't do anything.
Right. But I know $2 billion hedge funds were bailed out this week.
Mm-hmm.
Something like that. It's just ridiculous.
I mean, people were talking about this could crash the market. It's irresponsible of the general public to do that and to assault these funds, these hedge funds. But it's like, no, it's not. It's irresponsible of the billionaires to play with the things that back our 401ks like that.
Yeah.
Right.
The bottom line is they should not be using the accounts that many people's livelihoods are based upon to make more money for themselves. Because when they were shorting these stocks, the only reason they were shorting stocks is to make even more on the back end when they sell it again.
Mm-hmm.
That's all it was. It was a wealth move. And when the general public went, wait, we can make money off of this, they somehow got offended. And I don't know if you saw these rants of these old rich white men on MSNBC and CNN where they were literally just throwing hissy fits and insulting the general public for outwitting them, for beating them at their own game.
Mm-hmm.
And they had the ability just to turn it off. And now when they did that, the people that invested a lot of money into it are now losing money. So they're hurting them because they didn't want to lose money.
Right, because they
so
stopped
the people who could afford to lose it less.
Because they blocked people from being able to buy into all these the ones that they were manipulating, right?
Yeah, and if you have not heard this, which I'm, there's no way you haven't. You'd have to be living under an absolute rock because this is something that applied to everyone. What happened was some of these wealthy stockbrokers, and I don't even know what to call them other than just rich old white guys that have a lot of money, used some of their hedge funds to short GameStop. And when you short GameStop, what you're doing is essentially a smear campaign against GameStop to drive the stock down, because they would borrow stock and then sell it again later and then rebuy it again to make money off of it. And it's the way it works. It shouldn't be legal, but as I go out of focus,
as you go into a dream sequence,
it's like they've hacked your camera.
And I'm telling you, they're like, "What are you saying?"
Blur him out.
Essentially, like Micah gives me his shirt for $5. The value of the shirt goes down. I trade that back to Micah for a loss at first, then buy it back. It goes up. I sell it to him, and then I don't actually owe anymore. I've made more money. It's weird math, and I don't think I explained that right. I think I said it backwards. But it's just a way to drive the price down on a stock and then make money off of it.
Right. Like buying elk meat at 20, then it goes down to 10, then you sell it back.
Right. And so you made a $10 profit.
Right.
It's kind of a bookie mentality though, which
should not be the case.
Yeah.
With these stocks that again back our livelihood. But anyway, so what happened was a Reddit forum got wind of this, that they were shorting these stocks. They said, "Hey guys, you know what we can actually do instead of them taking down some of our favorite companies this way and making billions off of it? It is if we invested heavily into these companies, all of us just put all of our money into it, it will drive the stock up." And then it then kills what the shorting was meant to do and puts the people who bought into it into a short squeeze, where the only way they can get out of it and make money at that point is to buy more stock to match what they already bought, which then drives the price up even more, which is why you saw such a sharp incline in the GameStop and AMC stocks. It was a false inclination. It was a false stock price because there's no way GameStop would be worth $500 a share in this day and age where everything's digital. But it was done fairly, and it was done playing by the rules that they set forth for the market, the free market that you're supposed to be allowed to invest into. And so when that happened, that's when you saw them all jump online or on the TVs and cry about it. And here we are now. They stopped the buying on those stocks and only allowed people to sell the stocks, which drove the price down and allowed people to get out. They made out with far more than what they went into, but the people who continue to hold will just lose, and then will eventually kill the GameStop stock, bringing it back down below to what they were originally wanted it to be, and the people who shorted it in the first place can make their money.
Yeah,
it's a rigged market.
Now it's funny though. The GameStop fans boosted the value up to ridiculously high. Said for the value that they boosted it up to, GameStop would have given them about $3.75 per share.
$500 stock. I give you $17.
15. 22 if you do store credit.
And then Marco comes in and wants that stock. They sell it for $650. All right, enough of that. We are what's today? We are 6 days away from the Super. What's it, next May? 6 days away from the Super Bowl.
SB 55, baby.
The Patriots. Nope, wait. The Tampa Bay Buccaneers.
Brady's.
The Tampa Bay Buccaneers and the Chiefs will go at it in Tampa Bay in Super Bowl 55. Someone was searching for mommy. So this Super Bowl matchup is probably the best quarterback matchup, legacy-wise and talent-wise, that it's either a top 3 matchup or if not the top Super Bowl quarterback matchup ever. And I'm just excited to see what this is going to be. My brain has tricked me into thinking the Chiefs are going to win a blowout. I've thought the Buccaneers are going to win in a blowout. I've gone back and forth on this many, many different times because these are both very good teams. What's y'all's opinions on this game? What are y'all looking forward to seeing? And
wait a minute. Before we go in further, I want to sort of rebut that this is the best quarterback matchup we've ever seen. I'm not saying it's not true, but what about didn't we see Peyton versus Breeze?
Yep.
Yeah, that was a good one. But
and I'm sure I'm missing out. What's another one that was probably on that level?
Would you take?
Man, we've seen a few.
You take Breeze over Brady at that time?
No.
Would you take Peyton over Mahomes?
What if we flip it around? I'll take Peyton over Brady, and I'll take
Breeze over Mahomes.
No.
Well, I mean, we did at one point have Big Ben in his prime and Aaron Rodgers, or young Aaron Rodgers, which was a very good matchup. Actually turned out to be a very exciting game. You had Big Ben with Kurt Warner, which was a very exciting game.
Russell Wilson versus washed. That was versus good Peyton.
Yeah,
the first one
blew them out.
You had Steve McNair and Kurt Warner.
Right. I'll put Kurt Warner definitely on a tier below anybody.
I mean, think like Joe Montana. Was it Joe Montana Elway one? I believe.
Yeah, that's true.
Yeah, in the 80s.
One of those the Denver with the old logo Broncos.
Yeah. So I mean, there
logo Broncos.
Who did Marino lose to when he went to the Super Bowl?
Was 84? Was that the Niners? I believe.
So the Montana Marino.
Yeah.
That might be one of them.
Think legacy wise though. What we're talking about in these.
Well,
those are all good matchups.
At that point, yes. But legacy, I mean, Brady has the best legacy of any NFL quarterback because all of the years he's been. I mean, the dude is like 75 years old and still playing quarterback.
41 touchdowns.
He is coming off a 3-pick. He is coming off a 3-pick game.
He's like in football years, Tom Brady is 176 years old, and he's still playing, and Mahomes in his 4th year has accomplished something that just like we've never thought to really like MVP. And
since Marino, really
2 Super Bowls. I mean, I don't even know if Marino was quite at that level this early in his career.
Well, throwing wise, but not winning wise. But Marino was on the level where he came in and he did things with his arms that no one had ever seen.
Yeah,
no one does what Pat Mahomes does.
Right, exactly. So that minus the Super Bowl. So
yeah.
But what I'll say about Tom Brady is I think the reason it's so important is because there is only one GOAT, and that is Tom. And like you said, implication-wise, if he wins, like we pretty much can't talk about anybody else ever as the GOAT.
Ever.
I mean, you're always gonna have somebody who's gonna.
No, man, because he went through
7 Super Bowls.
Like I said, you're always gonna have somebody who's willing to debate it, because
but
there's
let's just
because in somebody's mind it's Montana still 4-0. Brady's lost 3 or 4 Super Bowls. So I mean,
he'd have 7.
Yeah, he'd be 7
and he would have
beaten
7 and 4. Drew Brees, Aaron Rodgers, and Pat Mahomes to get it. Like, and Pat Mahomes is the newly, Aaron Rodgers is the old best. Pat Mahomes is the new best.
Like here's the thing. Well, yeah, that the Mahomes would be the most impressive. I just like their road. Like, people are crowning the road, but it was just like, all right, you beat Trubisky. You beat Aaron. You beat Drew Brees, who's, I mean, his arm is shot.
But that one's just a name brand thing. But yeah, the Aaron Rodgers wins an impressive.
And then Aaron Rodgers, like I said, Aaron Rodgers. That to me, that was more. What's his name? Pulling a Shanahan, LaFleur pulling a Shanahan than it necessarily was, because you don't have great receivers. Yet you're challenging this press man receiver, and you ran the ball 16 times against the team, and you have Devontae Adams and nobody.
Bad coaching, yeah, but Aaron Rodgers' pick at halftime really cost them that game.
Yeah,
because even if the blunder that everybody talks about, even if they would have went and scored, they still would have had to score a 2-point conversion just to still be in the game.
Yeah, but I mean, at the end of the day, you still had an opportunity. Brady gave them an opportunity, but what's his name?
Opportunities?
like what? But I mean, that's the thing. He chose Ryan, when Ryan and I were testing out the OBS last night, he was showing clips from the Super Bowl, and I'd forgotten Devontae Freeman's first carry of the game was like a 45-yard run. That's like with LaFleur. Your balance was your strongest attribute. The fact that you were able to run all over everybody you played. They
with
averaged
3 deep at running back.
Exactly. You averaged over 4 yards a carry that game, but you only ran it 16 times. You put the ball in Rodgers' hands and was like, "Hey, beat this good defense with one good receiver and a bunch of mediocrity at receiver." And it's like, all right, well, we can run. We're just not going to try. And that was my frustration. It's like, if you had tried to run,
48 touchdowns. I mean, I completely agree with you that LaFleur had a big part in blowing that game. And I also agree with Ryan when he was like, it's not necessarily Tom Brady that really won them that game.
Yeah.
But he did put them in the position to be in the Super Bowl.
Well, and I mean, most of that play, like that Saints game, was all defense. But it is what it is. I'm not really trying to poo-poo on Tom Brady's parade. I just
poo-poo on you.
It's like all of this. He went through all of these names, and it's like,
yeah. I'm not even saying that I'm just saying that in terms of history, when they look back at it, if he manages to win the Super Bowl, they'll cram that. They'll be the perfect bow for his career. Like they'll be this, and then he beat the greatest to get
that's my
trio.
Yeah. That's my issue with it though. It's this, let's pump this up. So put him on the, the way they say people like, in 40-year-old virgin put the pussy on the pedestal. It's like, that's legitimately what they're trying to do. Even though Brees looked horrible. Brees looked like a bottom 5 quarterback by the time they were in the,
boy, he looks so bad.
And in the play, by the time they made the playoffs, then Trubisky didn't look terrible, but it's Trubisky
either, though.
It is Trubisky, and I mean, like I said, and I think LaFleur relied on Rodgers to do too much with too little around him in that game, and that's ultimately what led to the Bucs being in this position. Now, if he beats Pat Mahomes and that Chiefs team, then hats off to him. That is an impressive win because this is a very talented team. But to make it through the NFC, I just felt like it wasn't that much of a Herculean task to make it through the NFC, considering the situation they went through. So,
I mean, even if Tom wins, though, if he manages to win this game, it won't be because of how great he played. It'll be because the defense turned them over or something like that. It won't be, oh, Tom came out here and destroyed them. You know what I mean? It'll most likely be because the defense did something to make Pat Mahomes not play as well. So even then, it still wouldn't necessarily be him, but I don't know. What are we going? What are we doing predictions? What do we do?
Yeah, let's do a prediction. Marco, who you got? What's the score?
Man, I want the Chiefs to win because I want Pat Mahomes to go down as the greatest of all time because I just like him. He's so talented. It's my boy. But I know NFL is full of shenanigans and scripted outcomes, and I feel Tommy might come through with this one.
Micah. Oh, wait, hold on. I don't want it to seem like the only way the Buccaneers win is a scripted outcome. That is a very good team.
But Tom is past his prime.
Yeah, I mean, he still threw 41 touchdowns and 16 interceptions this year.
And like a third of those were in like 12. One game.
Well, yeah, if you count the playoff season, he's probably at 16. But I think like in the regular season, it's like 41 and 11, 41 and 12.
He had like 5 of those against like the Chargers or something.
What, touchdowns or interceptions?
Touchdowns.
Touchdowns.
Oh, yeah. You don't remember they blew out the Chargers real bad?
The regular season's a blur for me right now.
It was like 2 or 3 games in the middle of the season where he had like 5 in each of those games.
And like Panthers. Man,
yeah, it was the Panthers.
Threw like 7 against the Panthers.
I do remember that one, yeah.
It was like, good God.
Because I started them in fantasy that week, or in FanDuel that week.
Oh man. So I believe the Chiefs are going to win. I believe that Tampa still hasn't figured out a way to contain Tyreek Hill and all that speed. Right. And once they start to adjust to that speed, I believe like Travis Kelce and Mecole Hardman and those guys are going to get a little more involved now that the Chiefs run game is healthy as well. What was it? Edwards-Helaire is back, and Le'Veon. I think they're going to start to impose a little more, utilize the running backs a little more. I think it'll be a fairly close game, but I think it'll be a fairly high scoring game. Something maybe 34-27 or something like that.
So that's 2 for the Chiefs.
Mm-hmm.
Hopefully my playoff streak continues, my kiss of death. I'm going to pick Tampa, actually, just because I totally get what you're saying, Micah, about Tyreek Hill, because he smoked them in the regular season. I think he had like 13 catches for like 260 yards and 2 touchdowns, I believe, against them. It was just running all over the place on them and they are bigger, more straight line speed defensive backs, and he's a small, shifty wide receiver, and he's just impossible for someone of that stature to guard. So I get that, but it's just something about that Tampa defense and the way they've been playing in the playoffs. That's the reason I think they would win. They're too good against the run, and their pass rushers are getting healthy when they've been banged up all year, and Vita Vea is back. I think it is going to be high scoring. I think it's going to be like 35, like 24 though. I think.
Dang, you think they're going to hold Pat Mahomes?
Like I said, I think the defense is the reason they're going to win. So
he's still trying to hold the Falcons record though.
Oh yeah,
being the only team to hold the Chiefs under 20.
Right.
A great Falcons defense.
You see, they asked Pat Mahomes about the Falcons today.
Mm-mm.
they asked him a question about the Falcons, and everyone was like, "Why the hell did they ask?" Because we're the only team that held them under 20 points.
And I think if you're going to emulate any game this season against the Chiefs, that's the game you do it.
Mm-hmm.
Because it's not like, I mean, the Chiefs looked a little off, but it wasn't, to the point where they were holding themselves out of the end zone. We played a damn good game against them, and our speed on defense was able to match their speed. So I think that's the game that they look to, and they, who better than to know what we do than one of our rivals, our in-division rivals.
Right. Which is funny because, like I said, I vividly after that game.
You didn't say nothing.
Isaiah Oliver actually did a good job against Tyreek Hill.
Yeah, the strangest thing. Of all of our cornerbacks to cover Tyreek Hill, you'd think Isaiah Oliver would be the last.
Like all of these fast guys that he struggled against, the fastest one he had to cover, he's running stride for stride with I got this.
Maybe it's because Isaiah has blind speed, but he doesn't have skill. Maybe so. Maybe that has something to do with him being so good. But just a rundown. So Tom Brady, not to invalidate his, he had a great season, but he had a 5 touchdown game against the Chargers. He had a 4 touchdown game against the Raiders. And then he had 2 other 4 touchdown games against the Lions and the Falcons. So, I mean,
bad secondaries.
Yeah.
How many he throw against the Panthers?
That's what you're supposed to do against bad secondaries. That's not a knock against you.
When they blew out the Panthers, one time he had 3 and the other time he had 1.
Oh, wow. Oh, yeah, that's right. Ronald Jones ran all over them that game.
Yeah.
So, I mean, I'm not going to invalidate touchdowns or touchdowns, but it might be a little deceptive that he threw 40 touchdowns.
Two for the Chiefs?
He essentially, he threw for about 22 in 4 games.
Against the Chiefs, he threw 3 touchdowns, 2 picks.
Yeah, but I mean, again, that's what you're supposed to do against bad opponents. So it's not a knock.
He did what he was supposed to do.
Well, LeBron James or Kobe scored 80 against the Raptors. It's still 80.
Who was it?
Yeah, that was not to invalidate it.
I'll never forget. It reminds me of was it college? It was a very average quarterback, and he threw for 6 touchdowns in a game, and it was all little dink and dunks. It's just it's quick slants and hitting running backs out the backfield. They did all the work, and it was just right.
I've often thought about recently with the popularity of advanced stats about counting passing yards just to where the receiver catches it.
Yeah.
And everything after that is yards after catch attributed to the receiver only. Because, I mean, the ball only goes as far until, your receiver catches it. And you should get every bit of those yards. But anything after the catch shouldn't be your yardage, really.
But then how would you count touchdowns?
I mean you could count the touchdowns.
Yeah.
But
so say you catch it at the 40 and run it 60 yards for a touchdown. Does the quarterback not get the touchdown?
Yeah, you would.
He get
a completion or something.
A completion and a touchdown, but not.
It'd be like a soccer assist.
Yeah.
Or a hockey assist.
Yeah, I mean, like pass to assist.
That's too complicated.
You would get, say that pass that Matt Ryan hit Julio against the Packers, where it was just it was a crossing route where he threw it maybe 15 yards, and then Julio ran it for another 50. Matt Ryan would get 15 passing yards, a touchdown, and Julio would get 50, receiving yard or 15 receiving yards or whatever, the 65, because he did all the running and the touchdown.
I mean, I get it, but what does that? I mean, what difference does it really? But do you want the?
It makes no difference.
Have less credit. You just want.
It just lets you know. It lets you know how much work the receiver did versus, the quarterback actually. Because quarterback, I threw for 5,000 yards, and like Breeze, how many yards did Breeze get just off Michael Thomas last year throwing quick slants
and then breaking it?
Yeah,
because Michael Thomas had 1,700 yards and
127 receptions or something like that. So
it was. A lot of that came after the catch. But it's just a distinction, Marco. That's all it is. And it's not, will allow you to look at stats after the game and be like, oh, they were throwing it short the whole game, and, the receivers were doing all the work. Or they had 99 receiving yards and 4 after reception.
4 yaks. But I mean, they already register yaks. So I mean, I guess you could technically what you could do is have an adjusted stat. So a quarterback could have an adjusted actual yards versus gross yards or whatever it might be, because your actual yards will be minus all the yaks that
that's true,
accumulated that year.
First of all, 99 yards and 4 after the catch. That must meant Josh Allen just bombed one out, and it was the receiver fast enough to run under it.
They were playing with the vortex ball.
And then second of all, I mean, I'm sure Pro Football Focus has some kind of advanced metric that they keep track of this. The only thing is, it's probably some weird terminology, and they'll explain it in some weird kind of way where no average person understand what the actual stat is.
And no letters that match it. You're like, what's RMBQ? And it's like yards after the catch. It's like, what?
Is that what that is?
It's like,
because YAC is yards after contact.
Contact, right? There's two different yaks.
Okay.
It'd be like, this is the adjusted value of yardage after
initial contact on passes over.
Oh man,
the QSVD
index.
Like, wait,
it's like, what? It's like, Pro Football Focus. I want to like you, man. I've subscribed to you on 2 different occasions. I want to like you, but man, you make it hard to understand you.
Who can we talk to from Pro Football Focus? We need to get somebody on the show.
Get that giant man that's like 6'8".
I
don't know his name, with the curly hair.
Yeah,
looks like he'd be on a 90s sitcom.
God, it's not Sam Monson, not Mike Renner, or is it Mike Renner?
I don't know. I've seen all their interviews and never pay attention to their name or their shows. I just know how dry it is, and bringing them on would be like pulling teeth, trying to get them to a leading question. It wouldn't be like some of these other characters we've had on, but you ask them something, they just run with it. Them, yes, 5.8.
They'll probably feel attacked the whole time, like we're trying to.
I just don't understand.
I honestly believe you could pull a lot of it out, out of them, but I think they're so analytically driven that it'd be hard to keep like, for the average fan to just be like stay with the interview, because it's like, all right, like I've legitimately seen, like when they were doing fantasy football, and they had some of the Pro Football Focus guys interview for these fantasy football podcasts, and they'd go so in depth on these analytically driven stats that have very little to do with what actually goes down on the field and why you should pick a player. It was just like, all right, this is kind of a hard listen, but whatever.
I want to actually talk one thing before we get to the 2 quarterbacks. I know we discussed possibility of moving to a 3-4, but had they announced Dean Pease?
I don't think it was like solidly announced, but now
it was.
Now it is
pretty much. Yeah. So I'm excited. I called Micah as soon as it happened. Dean Pease is officially our defensive coordinator. We are moving to a 3-4 base, kinda. It's going to be a multiple defense, which is the best defense to run in the NFL, because there's no point to come out and run only one type of defense in this NFL, because 4-3, your strength is stopping runs up the middle. 3-4 is it gives you more flex to the outside because you have more speed on the field. So why would you just sit in one when teams can go, okay, well, they can't guard the outside as well as this other team, so I'm just going to attack the outside. Granted, you can stop the outside in the 4-3 with the proper execution, proper all that. But when you have that flexibility to throw out any formation, it just makes it that much better on defense. And it's what Micah can tell you. Anytime we got into a franchise with a team, I always ran a multiple defense, just because it it just makes more sense. And it's not to say because I think it's right. It makes more sense. The most successful teams in the NFL run multiple defenses.
Yeah.
New England switches the type of defense they run every single week. It's based on matchups, and that's exactly where Dean Pease cut his teeth, was with the Patriots early on, and then he took that same principle to the Ravens and made them successful, and now they run multiple defenses up there too. So I'm very excited for this. This is a move in the right direction. It's a great hire defensively for us, and it's just hold on.
Have a dog.
Oh, it's a toilet.
So didn't Dan Quinn try to do like a 3-4 defense one year where he was putting
he was trying to do 5-2.
Okay, that was when Big Beasley was standing up.
Yeah. So yeah, I mean it's more so just like a 3 down linemen and 2. It's not 3 down linemen. You legitimately have 4 or 5 down linemen. You just got a lot more big bodies on the field to stop the run.
Who, the 5-2?
Yeah.
Yeah, it's 3 defensive tackles.
Yeah. And
2 linebackers stepping up.
2 defensive ends, 2 linebackers in the middle.
Yeah. So it's more so just to help stop the run and beef up the front so you can stop the run, but we still didn't stop the run.
Yeah. I mean, it makes you slower. Like the 3-4 versus the 5-2 is you have 4 linebackers on the field, technically, with the, versatile outside linebackers that are like defensive ends, and a nose tackle, a D tackle, and an end.
Yeah.
So you get a lot more speed in a 3-4 versus a 5-2. Now you'll probably see this in a 5-2 at times. You'll see 4-3, 3-4, 5-2, nickel, dime. But our base defenses are going to be whatever we need to use to stop the other team, and I am excited. I am ecstatic.
It makes me feel so stupid. Just like watching what we were doing last year, or just for pretty much all of Dan Quinn's regime, because the common consensus is that a 4-3 is very predictable, right? But then a person might be like, oh well, sometimes it works. But then for us, it's like what we were watching was predictable. It was like we were literally watching the definition of why you shouldn't use a 4-3, and it was rolling out like that every week. And we're like, God.
Here's the thing: the 4-3 can work if you have the right personnel. Like with the Giants, when they were winning Super Bowls, their front 4 were dirty, and especially when they went into pass situations, and they could put 4 defensive ends in that NASCAR formation where you can put 4 legit defensive ends in and get to quarterbacks. It was just like, all right, what do you do against that? Because they could get damn near instant pressure. But like I said, there are holes in the 4-3, and if you don't have the right personnel, like we don't, it can very much be exploited.
What was LOB running?
4-3. They ran the same
over.
Yeah, they ran the same defense we ran, but they had a much better defensive line than we did.
Right.
4-3 over is similar to a 5-2, except it's just one of your stand-up linebackers shifts down on the line, which is what you saw Vic Beasley doing for us.
Yeah. You
saw him on that line of scrimmage. It was the Sam linebacker that would shift down on the line next to a defensive end. And the reason that I think that Dan Quinn didn't work here is because what we did is we got on one of these like hot defenses that someone was running. It was kind of like when people think about offenses. Offenses work for an extended amount of time when they come in and they're different. So like the Wildcat, everyone was like, oh, this is the thing. And then people caught on and they stopped it. And then the read option, oh, this is how offenses are going to be. And then people caught on and they stopped it. When you get on those type of trendy offenses, it's like, all right, that'll work for a little bit. But if the base to your offense or the base to your defense isn't just being really good at doing what you do and knowing how to adjust to stop things or to exploit things, then you're only going to be successful for this long. But when you can master those things like exploiting matchups and exploiting things and stopping what other people do, or just limiting what other people do, then that's when you're going to be successful. Because look what the Patriots have done.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, how much elite pass rushers have they had?
Right.
Chandler Jones.
Not a lot of name brand guys.
That's legitimately. Trey Flowers had a year, but now that he's in Detroit, he's been real quiet. So
and they win through execution. They know the defenses that they're supposed to be in, and they play them perfectly. Now they will lose sometimes because you run across these people that are really good, but most of the time they're going to beat you because they're really good at executing what they do. But that's why I like Dean Pease. It's just because he comes from a great line, and there's not really, you can't look at Dean Pease and goes, okay, he's going to run a 4-3 over. He's going to do this. He's going to throw whatever he can at you to stop you. So it just makes us versatile, and that's what I've been begging for years. Micah, your boy got himself a quarterback.
He did.
He got himself a quarterback. What you think about that?
Man, I've had a few debates. A lot of people are taken aback by how much the Rams gave up for Stafford, but I definitely don't have a problem with it because the way Goff's contract was set up, they only take like a $20 million dead cap hit this year. Then you have to eat maybe $20 million of Stafford's contract. So just for this year, you got maybe $40 million tied to the quarterback position. You have a talented receiver core. You were the number 10 ranked rushing attack last year, touchdowns and yardage. You had the number 1 defense in the league. Yardage, scoring, turnovers, they were top 3, I believe. Sacks, they were top 3. And so with all of these, the only true weak link you had was this quarterback who threw for 20 touchdowns and 13 interceptions. And if you count all of his rushing touchdowns included, he was 24-17. So with 24-17 touchdown to turnover ratio. So I mean, I think McVay got to a point where he just realized this guy isn't the guy who can take us to the promised land. I need somebody with, a better skill set. I've pretty much maximized what he could do, and I need a guy with a better skill set, and that he gets that with an older but much more talented Matthew Stafford.
Marco, where do you lie on this one?
I think that the media was sort of overhyping how much they gave up, because first of all, they're going to be a good team anyway. So those are going to be late first round picks. And yeah, you want your first round picks, but I think that's a semi overrated thing in the NFL. And if you're going to get a guy who's going to be your starting quarterback for the next, 4 to 5 years, then why not? You know what I mean? But and like I said, I think Detroit also won because they got a boatload of picks. They got Jared Goff, who they can throw in there to get killed for a while when they focus on, trying to get a new quarterback. But what I will say is that, and I do think it makes the Rams an instant contender for the Super Bowl, but I think that Matt Stafford he's played a long time in Detroit. So he has not played under any pressure at all or any expectations his whole career. So he's going to have a lot of pressure and expectations going into this season because everybody's going to expect them to be instantly amazing. I mean, he hasn't had pressure since he was at Georgia. I mean, he made the playoffs, like once or twice in his whole Detroit time? Three times. 0-3 or 1-2?
0-3.
0-3.
I know
he's only had one 100-yard rusher his whole time there. So I know not that kind of pressure. I know he's been playing under like defensive players coming at me pressure, but just in terms of media and scrutiny, he hasn't had that for a very long time. So I don't know. I don't know if that's a good point, but it's just something I consider.
He came in as the number 1 draft pick, though. That's pressure right
Detroit.
there. So?
Yeah.
Detroit.
Yeah, to a
Detroit hasn't
dead
won
franchise.
in 50 years.
That makes it even more pressure.
No, it's not. No one expects you to do anything.
Bruh, well, no. Like at one point, they did have pressure on them because
Calvin.
You know, they had Calvin, they had Sue, they had they had a solid defense.
What did they do under that pressure? Nothing.
I mean, they lost.
Playoffs. But
they made the playoffs, but they lost. I mean, I think they lost to the Packers.
Wasn't 2 of the times he made the playoffs without Calvin?
Yeah. No.
I might be wrong, but I know at least one of them was.
One of them was. But I mean, that's the thing, and he's been quietly the comeback kid. He has so many fourth quarter comebacks and nobody cares just because it's Detroit, and at the end of the day
they're gonna be down, and he's gonna have to come back.
There was a stat that I remember. I was rubbing it in Brandon's face, our friend who's a Ravens fan, and it was like this quarterback leads the league in completion percentage on scrambles of 15 yards or more. And he's like, oh, it's Lamar Jackson. I was like, nope, Matt Stafford.
No, Matt Stafford's also slept on for his mobility.
He is, as far as arm talent goes, and as far as ability to get outside that pocket and make those throws and extend plays, he's right up there with Aaron Rodgers. He just hasn't gotten, he doesn't have it as much here as Aaron. Aaron's probably a little bit better at reading defenses and all that and making better throws than Stafford, but it's not as big a gap as people think. Like Stafford
fans should know that because every time they come to town, he's leading them down the field on us.
Bro.
Yeah, I mean, just look what he did to us. I think that arm talent to zip those balls in there to where the windows were this big, and he was fitting in there, and they was getting there quick. Our defense didn't have time to get to it because he's got an explosive, accurate arm, and he can push the ball downfield with ease.
Bruh. I forgot who I heard. Oh, Sage Rosenfeld. What is it? Which one works for ESPN? Sage Rosenfeld's or
Sage used to. Now it's not Oliver. I know who you're talking about though.
Yeah, well, he was Stafford's backup, and one year when Calvin was there, and said Calvin was blanketed by a receiver. Receiver was right on his heels. Dan Orlovsky. So he said the receiver was right on his heels. Said Stafford throws the ball to Calvin with the cornerback literally draped on his back, and said Calvin catches it, takes it 82 yards for a touchdown. So when Stafford gets to the sideline, Dan asked him, it's like, dude, he wasn't open. Why'd you make that throw? Stafford was like, because I knew my arm is strong enough that all I needed him to do was just look back and I could zip the ball right by him. And that's exactly what he did. He looked back, right into Calvin's hands for an 80-something yard touchdown.
Yeah, I challenge you Falcons fans to go back and watch the end of that Lions-Falcons game and look at the velocity that Stafford was putting on those balls. And even the game winner. I mean, he just that thing got in there quick.
Yeah.
Tell me, was it so the two? I think the last. Correct me if I'm wrong. So was one of the games that we beat the Lions on some weird technicality?
Yeah, the Golden Tate touchdown, not touchdown.
Yeah.
Right, but then there was another one. I think we've lost 2 of the last 3 to them. That they've been here.
Yeah, they beat us in London too.
Right. Yeah, I mean, what I'll say is that I think anything less than a NFC championship will be a huge disappointment.
Yeah, I mean, they've got the talent for it. They've invested so much into that roster monetarily. With Stafford now, Jalen Ramsey, Aaron Donald. They just have to hit on a couple of their picks this year and maybe pick up one key free agent
Yeah.
I think they need to focus on some of their.
He get left tackle.
I like Cooper Kupp and I like some of their weapons, but they need more.
They got Woods, Cooper
Robert
Kupp,
Woods,
Robert Woods and
Higbee
Cooper
at
Kupp.
tight end.
Van
Higbee's
Jefferson.
I just feel like they need a couple more weapons. So, maybe some running back depth.
They need linebackers and offensive line.
They got running back.
They got 3 running backs.
Malcolm Brown. You
Darrell Henderson,
Cam Akers.
Oh yeah,
and,
Cam Akers. Well, Cam Akers are started, but who's the one fool who played?
Who?
I don't know. I just think they need. I think they need some
Darrell
receivers.
Henderson.
Malcolm Brown's the one with the little short dude with the fast feet.
I think you're thinking of Darrell Henderson.
Okay, Darrell Henderson.
But they're all good.
Yeah.
I mean, Cam's obviously the star amongst the bunch, but their running back depth is probably a notch below Green Bay.
Yeah.
They're very good.
But yeah, I mean, now I want to talk about the other side of this trade though.
The dark side.
People love like like I said, my coworker was like, Jared Goff took them to the Super Bowl. And I was like, yeah, but they lost the Super Bowl because he couldn't figure out how to beat cover 4.
You mean Todd Gurley took them to the Super Bowl?
Yeah.
Yeah, but no. But I mean, he was technically the quarterback, so of course people give him credit. And I was like, they lost to the Patriots because he couldn't figure out cover 4. And no matter how many adjustments what's his name made, he couldn't figure out where to put the ball to beat cover 4 coverage. And that's legitimately all Belichick did was say, oh, he can't beat cover 4. Let's stay in it all game.
Cover 4 match. Let's go.
Exactly. And he was horrible. Now, granted, if I was able to get Sean my whole scheme that I had to beat the Patriots, they might have won that game. But and that's neither here nor there.
I heard you were intercepted at Super Bowl Sunday. that stopped you from coming in.
No, sir. We don't know you.
He was running through with the book bag. And they're like, stop him.
Oh man, I had an intricate formation that they could have run to create mismatches, but couldn't get it to them.
Do you think this trade drives up the price of Deshaun Watson on the market?
Yes, but it's not going to happen.
They said what they wanted. They want 2 first rounders, 2 second rounders, and 2 defensive starters. So I feel like Chicago could foot that bill. I feel like the Patriots should just trade all the players that decided they didn't want to play last season.
Are you opted out?
Peace.
How about you opt out of New England?
Right.
Oh man, but
Dolphins. If he goes to the Dolphins, I don't really see them really as a Super Bowl contender.
Dolphins probably have the most defensive players that they could.
They have the most draft capital that they can trade and not be hurt.
And they'll send back a starting quarterback.
Well, possibly.
Tua. Yeah.
Send him Fitz. Goes back to the Texans. He's like, damn, man.
Oh, how life goes in circles.
My thing is, yeah, it would, but at the same time, the Texans aren't going to move Deshaun. Deshaun wants out, but that $67 million dead cap hit to trade him, it's not realistic. I know Adam Schefter said, oh yeah, he wants out. But in the NFL, the owners control the league. It's not like the NBA where players can make demands and things fall in line. The only real option Deshaun has, the only real leverage he has is to sit out. And
Carson Palmer that bit.
Yeah, but he doesn't quite have Carson Palmer money yet, because Carson Palmer, even if Carson Palmer didn't play in the NFL, his parents were loaded. So he financially, he was set regardless of whether he played in the NFL or not.
What did his parents do that made them so rich?
I forgot exactly what they did, but I know it's like he was kind of like with Manziel. Like, you know, I talked about Johnny Manziel to friends of way back ago. It's like, you know, Johnny Manziel's parents are oil in the oil business. So, like, you know, it was no real incentive for Johnny Manziel to get his act together because it's like, either way, I don't need NFL money. You know, this is just football is a hobby. I'm rich.
Who was the other player they were saying that about recently? Who was another quarterback? Was it Justin
Zach
Herbert?
Wilson. Zach
Who?
Wilson for BYU.
No, not this year. It was one of the previous years. It was either Justin Herbert or was it Goff? One of these guys. They were saying that he's like a real rich kid, so they weren't sure if he was going to be. It might have been Justin Herbert.
It was they said he was very smart. I remember them saying that about Herbert, and they were worried about him, you know, taking it seriously and
something like that.
Josh Rosen.
Yeah, it was Rosen.
The one.
Josh Rosen. Okay, Rosen. Look what happened to him. Oops. Maybe there's something to that.
Well, I mean, I don't know. I can't necessarily blame his intelligence for why he hadn't panned out as a starting quarterback, because he did get the short end of the stick twice.
That's because he wasn't good.
Yeah, but you're quarterbacking a Cardinals team with no weapons and no offensive line. Then you get traded to the Dolphins, who have no weapons and no offensive line. So it's just like, all right. So they gave him the David Carr treatment and then wonder why he turned out the way he did.
Yeah, but Kyler came in there first year before he had any weapons and made that team instantly competitive.
But
they also
spent all that draft capital to get him weapons. And versus Josh, like literally, Josh Rosen, he had like a 34-year-old Fitz to throw to, and that was it.
Hakeem Butler, that's right. It was Hakeem Butler who didn't pan out. Christian Kirk,
yeah.
And they got Hopkins, and then they drafted it. You know,
they gave him Isabella.
Yeah, Isabella. Oh my God, Isabella is so fast.
Yeah, so I mean, they bought the house, like they legitimately went all in to get Kyler some weapons.
Hey, I got a question before we get out of this football segment. It made me Isabella just reminded me of it. Did you guys see what Scotty Miller said about Tyreek Hill?
Mm-mm.
So Scotty Miller ran a 4.29 at his pro day, and we all know Tyreek Hill is ridiculously fast. Scotty Miller said he could beat Tyreek Hill in a 40-yard dash. Do you think
he can or he did?
Can.
Okay, well, I don't believe in cans.
Y'all think he has any shot?
If Tyreek pulls a hammy.
Right. Or if he just finished a workout, or if if he just pulled him out of bed. It's like, come race me.
So Tyreek Hill ran a 4.29. Scotty Miller ran at the combine ran a 4.39 at his pro day. They said 4.2 something. So
the only player in the league right now that I think might have a shot to beat Tyreek Hill is Henry Ruggs.
Yeah,
I mean, I never count out your scrappy white receiver, so he could, but I predict that he wouldn't win.
I see that.
Typically, now granted, you know, I did do a lot of studying in track because I was a track guy for a little while. Typically taller, because Scotty Miller's what, 6 feet, 6'1"?
Is he that tall?
He's 6 foot. No, he's 5'9".
Yeah. I don't think he's that tall at all.
Never mind. I thought he was a little bit taller because I was about to say, like, shorter, like most faster sprinters are short because of
they can turn their legs over.
Yeah, they can turn their legs over faster. That's why, like, Usain Bolt is such a phenomenon, being, you know, 6'5" and has the turnover of somebody 5'9", but also has the stride of a man who's legitimately 6'5". So
right, because when you see Tyreek Hill's feet moving is ridiculous.
Bruh,
it's like
not like
God damn.
It was like when we talked to Dr. Tom about he talked to Foye. Like Foye is a fast linebacker. Foye runs a 4.5. And Tyreek Hill, not only did Tyreek Hill catch him once, a body comes in between him and Foye, so he slows down and then runs him down again in like 15 yards.
Tyreek had stopped running after the when the ball was intercepted. Tyreek stopped and went, damn, and went, all right.
Like that was thinking about how he ran him down was probably just as I can't say it's more impressive than DK Metcalf against Buda Baker, but
DK.
Jesus. It was impressive in the fact that, he, like you said, he stopped mid-run because a body flew in between. It was like, oh, let me avoid this. All right, now let me run him down again. It's like, good God.
And he's smaller, tackling a much bigger dude.
It made Foye, but it made Foye, who legitimately ran a low 4.5, look like, it was like, when a D tackle gets picks up a fumble and like everybody runs him down because that's what it made him look like.
And the crazy thing is, anybody that's listening to this right now, if a defensive tackle in the NFL were to get a ball, he would dust all of you. Y'all think that these defensive tackles are slow? No, they would smoke you. They are fast humans.
Maybe if a nose, it's a couple nose tackles.
You could catch. You're not catching Vita Vea because he's fast. You're not catching Dontari Poe.
Like Vince Wilfork towards the end.
You could probably catch Snacks.
Yeah, Snacks Harrison.
Anybody sub 5'5", probably let's say sub 6. Our average listener is not catching.
Yeah, right.
Well,
I want y'all to go outside and try and run below a 6 or like below a 5'4".
I did it at the Super Bowl combine. You got
like a 4. Yeah.
The only person in the NFL that I could truly believe is in the 6's range might be it's 2. Phillip Rivers and Brady. Those are probably the only 2 that could be around that 6.
What was Tom Brady's official 40 time?
It was like 5'1".
It was 5'2" at the combine.
Yeah. Ugh. I think that's what I ran in high school. The one time I ran a 40, I was like, oh.
5.28. I think the only time they ever timed me officially, I had like a sprained MCL or something. I still got better than 5.
I was never a fast human being.
Yeah.
Just wasn't. Not in my bones, not in my muscles.
My best.
For a long time though.
My best was a 4.95 when I was 18.
Boy, you moving?
But I was also 295 pounds.
That's moving.
Yeah, for those of y'all that don't know and think that you can outrun Micah too, Micah's quick. I still remember when we were in Florida Core, we were playing duct tape. It was like dodgeball with a giant duct tape ball, and I hit Micah, and I took off. And then I hear behind me, and I was like, what? No! Let's take a quick break, and then before we get into the NBA, and then finish it out strong, because I'm excited to talk about some NBA.
Oh yeah,
oh yeah. There's a lot happening in the NBA right now.
Uh-huh.
But yeah, stick with us. We'll be back in a little bit, and we will see you on the other side of the break.
So
yeah. Welcome back from the break.
We back.
We back. The second half of this show is brought to you our new merch. You can now order our sweatshirts or our hoodies. Marco's turned out really dope. I wish he would have been able to get the logo that he wanted on the back, But
the battle logo is officially retired.
yeah.
But I put this on this hoodie so I no longer forget what the name of my segment is. So is that a good segue into the segment?
Oh, hold on. We are going to put the hoodies up on the store here pretty soon. By the way, if you don't know where to find our store, it's on our Facebook page. That's the only reason we have a Facebook page, really, is to have a store. Maybe we'll switch it over to something else so it's a little easier to access. But if you want to order anything, you can order all of our shirts, which they come in the charcoal gray, and now the hoodie. Really, if you want, you can put an order in and tell me what color shirt you want it on, and I can just tell him because it's going to come to me first. So if you want to switch it up, feel free. But we prefer the gray and the black right now. And maybe one day we'll get Mike a little beanie, because this man wants a beanie.
I want a beanie. So everybody order a beanie so I can get a beanie.
If 9 of you want to get a beanie, Micah can get a beanie. So if you want a beanie, contact Micah, and he'll put you on the waiting list.
Everybody wants a beanie.
Teamwork make the dream work. We need beanies, so I need team players to get me a beanie.
Not even gonna lie, this embroidered would look really dope on a beanie.
Oh yeah.
Oh yeah, for sure. But wait. Yeah, man. Did the groundhog see its shadow or not? Does anyone know?
No, I don't think it did. But
so it's gonna be cold a little longer. So,
yeah. Bruh,
get some hoodies,
bruh. Let's just say it was a rough past 2 days for me, mornings for me, as I got my new car. So, I got a car, so I had to stand outside of the DeKalb tag office.
Oh no!
Ooh.
Which opens at 8:00, and the line, and people start getting in line before 7. The past 2 days, I got there at 7:06 and 7:12. And I was 20th in line when I got there at 7:06, and today at 7:12, I was 25th in line, and stood out there until they opened at 8:00, and didn't get in until about 8:15 or 8:20.
So you left the first day?
Yeah, well, no, well, when I got there the first day, and they were like, "Oh yeah, you owe $400 and some in taxes," and it was just like, was not prepared to pay that today. So then I came back, got the money together, came back today, and it was like, yeah, I paid it, but I stood outside in line for about an hour and a half, and it was 30-something degrees this morning. So
sounds like being in the Army at Fort Drum. Hey,
Maybe
we've got a PT. We've got PT with the whole division. So think of it this way. Division's the entire base. So you have this unit, and they set a time at, like meet time is 5 a.m. So that means it goes on to the brigades, and the brigades say, okay, well, 10 minutes prior to that, so it's at 4:50. And then it goes down to the battalion levels. It's 4:40. Then it goes down to the company levels. Then it's 4:30. Because every level keeps changing. It's 10 minutes prior to the 10 minutes prior, essentially. So by that time, you're supposed to have PT at 5 a.m. But since it's the division level, it got passed down 4 times. So you're standing out there at 4 o'clock in the morning, waiting to go run in the cold at 5 a.m. for an hour, and it's like 10 degrees out. You're just like, oh my God, I'm freezing.
Is it just cold water that's good for burning fat, or is that cold weather as well?
Cold in general, because think about what your body does when it's cold. What do you do to warm up?
Contract.
You shiver. So you use all your muscles to make yourself warm. So you're literally sitting there like, So yeah. But also a natural body reaction in the cold is to store more fat than you normally would.
Oh.
So it's weird. It's a weird thing.
Too much cold is bad, but short controlled cold sessions might be good.
Yeah. That's what they do. It's like that shock therapy, that cryotherapy. think about the indigenous people of Alaska and Canada and, all these places, what those people look like. They're not like sleek looking people. They're stout.
I don't want to get into a conversation of what people look like because I might have said something.
I mean, it's just. I mean, it's there's several articles about it and the why certain people from certain areas are built certain ways.
What are they, stockier people up there?
They're just thick. They're thick people.
Okay. Thick, like Polynesians. Thick.
Not that type of thick.
No,
they're like a softer thick.
Yeah, got a little more meat on their bones to endure the harsh conditions.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, I mean, it's just there's a reason we're the most adaptable creature on the planet.
Could we be adapting?
Yeah. Anyway, sorry. Hey, Marco, what's your hoodie say?
Welcome to the layup, aka the finger roll, aka jelly time, aka points in the paint. And we're in full swing in basketball season right now. About a third, or was it a third through the season, or a quarter through the season? Just a quarter.
Yeah, just under a quarter.
Just under a quarter, and it's fun. So I want to start off today by, if we have RIPs, I always want to get those out the way first. And the basketball world lost a legend over the past, was it last week? I think. So I want to say,
I believe, wasn't it?
Yeah. So John Chaney, longtime coach at Temple University, he passed away. He was 89. His lifetime record, lighter's up. Where's my lighter? Not in here. It's not in my room. But his all-time record, listen, this was 741 and 312. Like, that's an incredible record, especially at a school like Temple where no one's trying to go there. He was a multi-time A10 coach of the year, one-time national coach of the year. He led the Temple Owls to the tourney 17 times. Even a number one seed one time in 88, which was the same year he won coach of the year. He had 5 Elite 8 appearances. He's also a Hall of Famer, the Naismith Hall of Fame. And he's also known for one time threatening to kill a young John Calipari when he coached at UMass. So if you want to, see something exciting, go look that up. So I just want to extend an RIP to him. Then also as well, the NBA community also lost one of their, most esteemed journalists in Sekou Smith, who worked for NBA TV. He worked his way up through the ranks and had held plenty jobs, and was also, if you listen to Atlanta radio, you heard his voice a lot on all the programs. He would always come and give his time and give great basketball opinions to all of our hosts. And just want to say rest in peace to him as well. Y'all will be missed in these crazy times. But anyway, so as we go on, last week we talked about the All-Star game potentially being at what was it? At Morehouse.
A high school gym that was attached to a college.
Right. We were all like, no. Like, if you want to do anything nice for HBCUs, you could probably do it at State Farm. And to once again prove that our show is listened to, this afternoon, or maybe this morning, Woj dropped a tweet that all but confirmed that on March 7th, there will be an All-Star game held at State Farm Arena, which will include the skills competition. So that's pretty cool. Are y'all excited about this? How y'all feeling about Atlanta getting some esteem out here?
It's going to bring some business, so that's good. Even though Atlanta's really been open this entire time,
right?
Never really shut down.
Quiet is kept.
There's been a lot of lost revenue in the city from the sports, so it'll be nice to do that. That's going to have to be on lockdown, because otherwise that's going to be the super spreader events of all super spreader events. Because you're coming to a city where we party still. They don't care. And a lot of the same people that are out partying are the people that are going to be attending these NBA All-Star events, because those two cultures are linked. Like the strip club culture, the club culture, and NBA, those things, like the Venn diagram is like just a circle.
The Venn diagram.
Like, so
not even intertwining, just all together.
Just a circle.
They're all in the middle.
So it's gonna be it's gonna have to be very regulated for it to be safe. I'm not exactly sure if they're going to be able to allow any amount of fans in over like 1,000. And they're all going to have to be tested. It's like you're going to have to treat this. You have to turn State Farm Arena into the Orlando bubble for like a week, and you can do it because the Omni's right there in it.
Right.
So it's possible, but man. I love it because it's my favorite All-Star event weekend. It has the coolest events. It's the ones I want to watch. Like, I'll watch Home Run Derby sometimes. I haven't watched the Pro Bowl in like 6 years.
Yeah,
or more.
I have not seen that in a minute.
Like,
I'd have been longer than that for me.
yeah, like All-Star MLB All-Star weekend. I pretty much won't watch the game, but I might watch Home Run Derby.
Yeah, I'll watch the Derby. I usually catch the Derby, but
yeah, and then like the NBA, I'll watch them all. They're so entertaining. So I'm excited that we're at least going to get to watch it. I don't really care. Like, the fans add to it, but the fans are also a little distracting sometimes.
Well, the MLB is also very stupid with their format, though, because your All-Star weekend, your All-Star events are like Monday and Tuesday.
right.
So it's like, oh, I got to go to work in the morning. Let me stay up till 3 a.m. to watch this All-Star game on a Tuesday night.
Yeah, especially if it's like a West Coast All-Star game. It's
like, my God.
Los Angeles. You're like, well, I ain't watching that.
I mean, and Home Run Derby, even Home Run Derby is pushing it because, by the time they get to the later rounds, it's 11 o'clock, midnight almost, and it's just like, oh my god.
And then you have like hit offs because there's a tie or something, and then it goes even longer.
Like, someone just strike out. I wish you could just strike out.
Like, yeah, it's just the format is just so like, why can't you just do a weekend like everybody else?
Right.
No, we're gonna do ours during the week.
Yeah, it's like,
we're professionals.
Literally, that's how they treat it, man. Oh god, there's been some dumb baseball news too here recently.
Oh man, but
we won't get into that.
Right but I mean, as far as me, I'm staying my ass at home. I'm gonna have to go to work, but I'm going
right down the street from it.
Not far from it, not far enough. I actually pass that area going home most of the time. But yeah, I'm trying to stay as home as much as possible because it's going to be some wild people, some wild events, some wild things, like people just coming here and acting like they have never left home before in their life, probably trying to, some women trying to catch them an all-star,
It's like, how are they going to keep the wild herd of thoughts from breaching the premises?
Bro, it's Atlanta. Like, what are y'all thinking during this time? During
thoughts and weed dealers.
They're gonna breach it like the Capitol. Oh man.
Storming the Atlanta letters. They're climbing in through them. You can't stop us. This is our right. Don't tread on me. Wait, no. We want to watch basketball.
It's my right to get me an NBA husband.
I'm trying to
You know how long I've worked on this? I've waited for this.
Oh man.
This is like the Super Bowl for thoughts.
Oh man.
Oh man, yes. I don't know what the logistics are gonna be, how they're gonna control James Harden. Like, I just don't know.
Oh man,
Are they gonna have to like build a strip club don't they already have the capacity to put a strip club in State Farm?
Yes.
I mean, they have Georgia World Congress Center right next door. They could literally just make a tunnel, and they had this entire like landscape to do whatever they want with.
Harden and little baby gonna rent it out and just throw a strip party in the World Congress.
Bro, like, what are they called? The rooms. What do they call them there? Like AB concourse or whatever.
Concourses.
Yeah, or was it conference rooms?
Conference room, yeah.
Yeah,
like
the conference
room
rooms.
A. It's gonna just be an entire strip club, like the entire room they hosted the Super Bowl events last year, and it was just like in this one conference room, it's just nothing but a giant stripper party.
Strip clubs, glitter.
They're gonna have it separated by the strip clubs, the Magic City strippers on this area. This booth down here is for pinups.
Like instead of those little like guns you can shoot it like cash out of, Harden's gonna bust out like leaf blower size things where he's just like
the economy.
And then fucking lemon pepper Lou's gonna be there.
Right, it's gonna smell like chicken and booty.
Yeah. Magic City gonna have the cooks just so little Lou Williams can get his wings.
Oh my god.
I don't think they think how bad of an idea it is of all the cities to host the NBA All-Star game
during a pandemic.
Yeah. There was literally girls trying to fly down to Orlando during the finals to try to breach the bubble. Like they're putting it in the heart. like
they don't even have to travel anymore. They're like, we're here. Thanks.
Oh man.
You found us.
They'd be like skydiving and
it's Micah, it's like that scene in Tenet where they breach the balcony.
Oh yeah. Rappelling down the side of State Farm.
No, they're launching themselves into reverse rappel.
Right.
Reverse rappel.
With the you gonna see them down there with like slingshot shooting contraptions up to the top of the building. What are y'all doing?
Don't mind us.
You know what I'm doing.
This is my right.
So yeah, that's gonna be interesting. So stay tuned for that, guys. Like I said, March 7th, and the only reason it's not 100% official yet is because, like you said, they're ironing out all the stringent details of what players can't do. Let's not say what they can and can't do, just what they can't do. So, there's nothing they're alleged they will be able to do without pulling a who's my man who snuck the COVID tester into his room.
Oh, House. Eddie House, yeah.
Eddie House. Well, I've not heard from this season. Did he get excommunicated from the league? I have not even heard.
Rocket? Yeah, I mean,
on the Rockets.
Let's see, Eddie House.
I watch them. I do not see his face.
Wait, no, not Eddie House. Eddie House.
Daniel.
Daniel House. Daniel.
Welcome back, Micah. Daniel House.
Okay, he's still there. He's still there.
Yeah, on the Rockets.
He's out due to health.
Forward. I didn't know he was that tall, 6'7". I thought he was a smaller guard.
He's still on the Rockets though. I didn't know if he got traded or not.
They say he's out because of health.
Yeah, he's been out, but
oh wait, he played last game. He drilled 4 threes off the bench. Talk about drilling. Anyway, let's keep it moving. All right, so players have been going through a tightening of protocols, with all the insanity going on with the COVID stuff and players popping up every other day and games getting canceled left and right. Even having security guards standing in the middle of the court. So pre and post game players cannot go and dap each other up or talk for prolonged periods of time. And as of today, they're actually going to require them to wear K95 and KNF94 mask pretty much anytime they're not playing. And I bring this up to sort of bring up what happened last week with Kyrie and Bam. So basically they met at half court. Kyrie was dead set on exchanging a jersey with Bam. but the security guards weren't having it. They were like pushing them back. So Kyrie was over here like trying to figure out a way. So apparently they had a back-to-back. And then in the next game, Kyrie got him his jersey, like some contraband. he had it like hidden, and then he like slid it to him when no one was looking. And then I guess Bam got him his somehow. And then the next game, when they were in Atlanta, KD and Kyrie gave their jerseys to 2 Chainz and Quavo on the sideline. And once again, it was a whole awkward exchange where they were like, yo, what the hell are y'all doing? So I have 2 questions out of this. First of all, do these measures that the NBA are taking like on court really, make a difference, considering that they're running around all game, shouting at each other, sweating, spitting, bleeding, snarling at each other, shouting, and then you can't talk after the game? I really don't get that. And then the second question, y'all can answer them both in tandem. What is it with the game-worn jersey thing? Like, why do you want a sweaty-ass jersey? Why would 2 Chainz and Quavo want to take home a sweaty, stinky jersey after the game? You're giving me a look, Ryan, so I'm going to ask you to go first.
So you're telling me if we're sitting courtside, and it's me and you, Marco, and like LeBron walks over and pulls his jersey off his back and hands it in between the two of us, I don't have to worry about you reaching for it, right? I'll take it.
I mean, that's
ew, sweat.
That's a good point, but that's still, I'm just saying, that's sort of, okay, eliminate
these are great handing
eliminate
jerseys
the
out.
fan thing. Eliminate
hold on.
Eliminate the fan thing. Let's
Not
say
Kyrie.
player to player.
He's still a great player.
Player to player. Let's say player to player. Why do I need to get your jersey after the game? Can't you send me one in the offseason?
It's like it's. I mean, these are people that are multimillionaires. So acquiring rare things is not hard for them. So I remember listening to an interview about this, and it's like a collection thing. And elite jerseys amongst players are hard to get unless you're an elite player. So like the lower tier guys don't get these jerseys often. So it's like a bragging thing.
But only high tier guys exchange jerseys. It's not like
no. You only see the high tier guys doing it.
Yeah.
Like especially in football too. Everybody exchanges jerseys. People have jerseys all the time.
I played football. You played basketball. You know how nasty your jersey is after the game?
Yeah, but I mean, like
these things soaking.
So, you're handing it to another guy who's soaking wet, who's been touching you all game anyway from guarding you. They're not going to care. They've been rubbing all over that thing all game, and it's probably got a lot of their sweat in it as well.
Ew.
It's not that. I mean, you literally take it, you walk back in the locker room, you hand it to your guy. Say, hey, wash this for me real quick and let me get it back.
You saw Bam took Kyrie's and put it under his jersey. Like, you put it all up against his stomach.
Bam probably wears an undershirt under there somehow.
Yeah, he does. He wears like the Under Armour.
Yeah.
So I don't know if it's Under Armour brand, but those yeah.
You're thinking about this right now as someone who hasn't been playing sports a lot lately.
Man. Marco, because I don't want funky things.
Marco is the guy. Marco's a guy in basketball. It's like, oh, he's too sweaty. I don't want to guard him.
Yeah, for sure. If you're outside, you're outside, and somebody who doesn't have their shirt on comes up, I'm not gonna be a dude without a shirt on.
I'll fucking put my forearm right across your chest. I don't care.
No, I care.
I'm playing ball at that point. I don't care.
I'm trying to win.
Slip off.
Right? Yeah. Like I'm not like, yeah, sweaty.
I'm not trying to slip off you. I'm not trying to get your sweat in my eyes.
We exchange sweat.
Y'all nasty, man. I'm gonna bring my sweaty clothes.
I mean, it's part of the game, bro.
I'm gonna bring my sweaty shit to y'all.
I mean, if you brought it to me now, I'd look at you like, the fuck's wrong with you? Get that shit out of here. But like, if we're playing a sport, I'm already sweaty. I already stink. I know I'm about to go take a shower. I know you like. I've been rubbing on you all game.
Jersey.
I mean,
I'd prefer if we're gonna exchange the jersey, I prefer that maybe you like sign it and like.
Then I'm giving my jersey to somebody else
later.
I'm not gonna seek you out.
Especially if I'm a player, I definitely don't need your jersey. If I'm a fan, I get it. I'll take a sweaty. I'll take a sticky jersey as a fan. I'll take
it's just a collection. I mean, like what's it called? Like Giannis. Giannis exchanged jerseys with his brothers.
That's just weird.
No. I mean, it's just memorabilia. We played each other, so it's something to remember the moment by. So, but wait, what were the two questions again? Because it was.
The more serious. Y'all covered the second one. The first one was like, are these measures like the security guards separating them at half court, and is this really necessary considering that they literally, if they had COVID, they would have got it during the game?
I mean, not really, but Kyrie is a flat earther, so he doesn't believe in such things. So, he doesn't believe in rules.
Rules.
What are these rules you speak? Laws.
What?
Kyrie.
Physics? Oh no.
Scientific fact? Why are we talking like? Why am I saying Kyrie sounds like that?
I think he does.
If you imagine meeting Kyrie, that's how he sounded. You'd be like, what? I didn't expect this.
Kyrie says, "I'm an artist."
I always picture the Uncle Drew voice. Come on, young blood. Hey man, I gotta get my 35 shots a game.
Wait, okay. Was that it?
My answer is no. It doesn't make any sense as I go out of focus because I'm saying something so crazy.
It doesn't make sense, but I mean I understand it. I do understand the jersey exchange.
Yeah, the protocols don't make sense. I always laugh when you see these guys like who were just on the court come off the court and have to throw on a mask. You're like, huh?
Right.
Like you were just in that dude's face. These guys were in the game too. Everybody here has it if we have it.
I understand it more in football than the way they do it in the NFL than the way they're doing it in the NBA. Because at least in the NFL, the guys who are wearing the mask are the guys who like never come on the field.
Mm-hmm.
And then it's just like, all right, so if they do have it, they could easily give it to one of the players who come off the field. So
I think it's a more of a thing. It's a public appearance thing.
Yeah,
because they don't want to be like, oh well, they're not wearing it.
So here's a better question. So say for instance you are sitting sideline and LeBron comes and gives you his soaking sweaty jersey. Are you gonna wash it?
Yeah.
But why would you wash it? You're gonna get rid of all his.
It's still game worn.
Right. It's a game worn jersey from LeBron.
Gonna get rid of all that LeBron funk.
And especially if he signs it, no, I'm not washing it, obviously.
Right, like let's say he signs it,
but I would just literally hang it outside on like a air dry. Yeah,
and then put it in a frame.
Mm-hmm.
Be a little crusty for a while. That's fine.
Yeah, I mean, but jerseys, I'm not worried about a sweaty jersey. Now there's other things that like if he tried to throw like a jock strap,
how would he take that off?
It's like the bride ceremony. He takes it off and just slingshots that bitch up there.
How in the world would he?
You're gonna get married.
He runs in the locker room, takes it off, runs back out and shoots it into the sand. Hey, you nasty son.
LeBron, we told you about that dumb shit. Quit
it. But I mean, like I said, jerseys don't mind. Like jerseys or like game worn shorts aren't as big of a deal because he is wearing something that's not necessarily skin to skin contact.
Yeah, I bet I don't know. I'd take it.
Nah,
10 times out of 10.
I've seen guys give away. Now the one that's even sweatier than a jersey. I've seen some dudes give away the shoes and the headbands.
Oh yeah, the headband's a nasty one. I've seen that one dripping.
So let me tell you a story on that. I've told you how I for some reason really liked Ira Newble when he was here with the Hawks.
Yeah,
I loved him, and he threw me a headband one year, and I caught it, and I was like, ugh! I was like, I don't want this. Like it was soaked. I was like, ugh! It's so wet. What'd you do? Soak this in water? I threw that shit away, man. On the way out of the stadium, I was like, no, I don't want that. That's gross. My friend was like, "You love him." I was like, "I don't care. That shit's gross."
Would you have kept it if it were like a higher profile player?
Probably. I probably would have sucked it up. But I was like, I renewal.
Imagine like Shaq wearing a headband with the way he used to sweat.
Oh my god.
Fucking. Could you imagine Dwayne Wade shit?
Oh my god. Yeah, he's
Dwayne Wade would walk out for warm-ups and just like.
Just throw it in your little, either in your cup, your souvenir cup, or your souvenir bag. You straight.
Right.
Just hope it doesn't mold in there.
He throws it up to you like, "Can I get a plastic bag too?" Anybody got a Ziploc?
And some tongs.
Oh man.
Oh my god. All right. So moving. Oh wait. I do want to bring this up. It's just funny because we were talking about this pre-show. But so the Brooklyn Nets right now, they're still considered one of the better teams, just in the league. But they have the craziest distinction of being the highest rated offensive team of all time and the lowest ranked defensive team of all time. It's like, what kind of video game shit is that?
Oh man.
This is literally like that. Those people, when you play online franchises with them, all they do is invest in offense, and they're like, I don't care. I'm gonna score 50. I may give up 40, but I'm gonna score 50 in Madden. And then you play them in 2K, and they're like, you can't stop me. That's the thing. I'm gonna hit a whole bunch more threes than you.
Bro,
I may not be able to stop you. You're scoring 60 in the paint. I don't care.
And that's more or less like what they've been doing. I like when we played them, I felt like, yeah, man, there's just a lot of opportunity for anybody and everybody to get some buckets. But right now they're up by 8 with 2 minutes to go on the Clippers. So they might quiet some of the opinions out here about what they are. We don't really have to talk about what they need to do to get better.
I just want to say one thing.
Go ahead.
We were a terrible Herder inbound pass away from potentially.
Hey, we're gonna get to the Hawks.
I'm just saying. I'm just talking about that game against them because Clint Capella, the way he rolled, was it Capella or
Collins and Capella were eating.
Yeah, the way they got position and rolled to the basket. All you had to do was throw it towards the rim. Instead, you threw it to the middle of the lane.
Right,
bro. Who is throwing it down? What is it, a dunk? Were you a dunk contest, Allie?
That was also the strange game where they took Capella out and he didn't play for like the whole entire second half.
Yeah.
So it was just John Collins. But and then yesterday he had 2 more bad inbounds passes. Like, I don't know what is up with her. We'll talk about him in a second. But for now, let's talk about Bradley Beal real quick. So he's been on a tear this season. He currently leads the league in scoring. And just like the Nets, he holds another crazy distinction. In his last 10 40-point games, his team is 0-10. But as recently as today, he has stated he does not want out. So the Wizards do the right thing and free him. And what team would Beal be best suited for, in y'all's opinion?
Ooh. Yes, they should save Beal, please. Like, we're watching an elite talent wither away and just have the life sucked out of him. What are those things on Harry Potter called? The
some.
Welcome to the 30-plus-year-old podcast.
What, a succubus?
No.
They're the things, the soul sucking things here. All right, now I gotta know.
They suck the joy out of people.
I only know
Dementors.
Dementors, yeah, that's right.
Yeah. It's like you're just watching Bradley Beal's life force be sucked out. He's just like, man.
He was literally crying on the bench the other day.
Bruh. Nah, what was it? Sunday night that
they
beat self-check. The self-check hit the game winner.
Yeah.
They like. I sent Ryan. I actually sent Ryan a video I saw on Instagram, and it's Bradley Beal. Like it was one possession. Westbrook, Beal stands at the 3-point line, and I mean he's literally just standing, not even like he was waiting for the ball. He's just standing there, just kind of like with his hands by his side, like do. Like, bruh, are you like you're in the middle of a game, bruh? You just not even paying attention. It's like, wow, the dude don't want to be there. Free him.
Quick
him.
Little and stat. Oh, sorry, go ahead. I thought you were done. My bad.
And send him to Atlanta. We will give you John Collins, Herter, and a first-round pick for Bradley Beal.
That's not enough.
I don't know.
John Collins is playing well, but if we're not gonna
his stats don't indicate that he's playing that well.
Well, it's because
we watch him and we see
team now.
Yeah,
I mean he's still putting up 20. He's still putting up around 20 a game.
He's at like 15 right now.
16 and 9 or something like that.
Yeah,
but I mean he's having to share the ball more.
Yeah, because Capella's down there.
But I mean, he still plays well, and he's played fairly well. He's even playing slightly better defense, not much better, but slightly better.
I'll give him that. He's playing actually much better defense. I'll give him that.
So, yeah, I mean, you could potentially get that, and then Herter. Now Herter's not averaging anything, but Herter shot better this year. He's less afraid to take open shots this year for some reason. So.
I know he'd be pulling up from that far corner all the time. I'd be like, Herter, step in. Like, what are you doing?
Well, but that beats what last year he'd be wide open and be like, pass.
Now it's like the polar opposite. Like, bro, step in.
Somewhere in between there, Herter.
Yeah, exactly. shoot, and you keep passing up these open shots.
Oh my God.
Quick little stat about that, since you mentioned that game winner by Westbrook. So that game and the Dame game where he hit that off the jump ball, crazy 3-pointer
in Chi-Town,
where both those teams were down 5 or more with 10 seconds left in the game. And before those 2 game winners, teams were 9 and 23,499. Only 9 teams had won, and 23,499 of them lost in that same situation. So, and we saw that twice
in a week.
Yeah,
in a week. It was like, what?
Yeah, that's crazy. In the Chi-Town one, I don't know what Zach LaVine was doing. It's like, bro, like, why are you calling for the ball right there? Like, and if you do call for the ball, have a plan to get rid of it. Don't try to dribble. Like, he tried to act like he's like he's gonna just skill himself out of a trap. Like, no, Kyrie couldn't have beat that trap, bro. It's like, one's beating.
And you have the height to pass over top of it,
right?
Like,
try to put it down. It's like, what are you doing? Like, and then I don't know why teams aren't fouling more. Like when you have a lead. Because I imagine, because Dame's moment.
Well, no, I know why. Because the teams were 9 and 23,499 in those situations.
I imagine one of those 9s is the T-Mac moment when he did that crazy. Because Dame's moment sort of reminded me of that, but it wasn't as great as when T-Mac. You know what I'm talking about, right?
It was like 13. How much time was it? It was 13 seconds. How?
It might have been like 40 seconds or something.
Yeah, it was like, I think it was 50. I think it was like 50 seconds.
And then he started and he scored 13 points in like 50 seconds.
So I don't think by the time they got to 10 seconds or below, I don't think they were, down by 5.
Okay.
I thought it was I thought he scored in less than that, but
yeah. Now I gotta look. T-Mac Spurs comeback game. Tracy McGrady scores 13 points in 33 seconds.
33 seconds. Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, that was one of the greatest moments ever. But that was slick like that, because I mean, Dame, that was some MVP stuff right there. Hitting the 3, getting the steal, hitting the game winner. It's like, okay.
Oh,
like
man.
If they finish, go ahead.
I was watching a video. They said the most tragic moment of the bubble, and it was the Utah when Utah played the Nuggets, and was it Mike Conley? Did Mike Conley take the last shot?
No, it wasn't Mike Conley. It was
I know it wasn't
to somebody, and they missed badly.
No.
What was it?
They didn't miss badly. It went in.
Oh, it rimmed out. Yeah,
and it rimmed out, and Donovan Mitchell just dropped to the ground in disbelief, and it was like, but meanwhile, I'm sitting there thinking like, why did Jamal Murray even shoot the ball? You had the lead with little to no time left. You drove for a layup, and it's like, no, just hold on to the ball. Just eat the clock. Force them to foul you or something.
Man, I had money on that too, so I was mad. I ended up winning it because I had Denver winning, but I was like, "What are you doing, bro? Like, hold the ball." These NBA players sometimes, I swear, they don't. Nothing goes through their brains sometimes. That's why I think these dudes be doing that stuff on purpose. Sometimes it's like, are you trying to cover a spread? Are you point shaving? Like, what is going on here? Like Chris Paul last night. Did y'all see that layup he blew?
Boy,
no, I missed it.
Oh my God! It was a game tying layup. He literally airballed it on the fast break.
These were the moments that he lives for.
Like he literally had the game time layup, and he like threw it up so hard with the right. And you know when you do that, and just ricochets off the backboard. But then Booker ended up hitting a game-winning three anyway. But I was like, that's like when you were saying about the QBs getting losing those yards. I feel like there should be a choke stat. Like if you if you turn over the ball in the last 2 minutes, if you airball shots, if you you know what I mean? There should be certain things that happen in the last 2 minutes that should count against you. Like,
boy,
yeah, because they definitely count clutch stats.
Right.
So
the funny thing is, some of the highest rated players on like 2K would have some of the lowest. Chris Paul, Russell Westbrook, James Harden.
Right, that choke factor.
Boy, yeah, James does. Yeah,
choke factor 93.
Like if you think about
Good.
James Harden's clutchest moment, it was that moment against OKC on defense.
Right.
That's it.
Like against the Hawks, Murray tried to close the game. He could have just passed it to KD or Kyrie or any of these other dudes that can actually hit a game winner, but he pulls up with some step back and gives us a chance to win, which hurt or blew. But like I said, we'll get to that. So, wait, y'all never really said what team do you think Beal should be on?
He did. He said Hawks.
Oh, you said Hawks. What do you think, Ryan?
Where do I think he's gonna go, or where do I think he should? Oh, where do I mean,
best fit.
I don't want Beal here. I like our young wings too much. I think he should go to Milwaukee or to Dallas.
Okay.
The rumor has been that the Clippers are either going to get him or Westbrook.
Oh, okay.
Oh no,
I heard Lonzo.
Yeah, Lonzo I think was a new one since I originally saw this like a couple days ago. So that any of those three would make sense though.
I think out of those teams, I think his best fit's Miami, because I think they really need, because Tyler Hero is not what anybody thought he was going to be. Like, and I'll say I want to get to this point down here, but I think that half has to do because these guys didn't really get an offseason. So we didn't really see the improvements that we might expect from some of these players. So right. Tyler Hero looks worse this year. So they really need a two who can take that scoring pressure off, because Jimmy's not going to be your alpha scorer, but he can do everything else, right. So I feel like that would be his best fit. But Milwaukee too. Bam.
Have you seen Bam's ISO stats?
Yeah, Bam is incredible. But you need a wing. You just need a wing.
Yeah. Well, they've been treating, kind of. They've been giving Bam some ISO off the wing, actually. Right. And they're scoring. Anytime he gets a high post or he gets a ISO at the wing, he's averaging 1.7 points per possession.
Damn.
Right. And for those of y'all that don't know, That's elite numbers in the NBA.
Bruh.
But they have been taking L. They're like terrible right now. They've been losing to everybody.
So what would the Clippers give up to get Bradley Beal? I think
Reggie Jackson.
I think what's call it would be a terrible Russell Westbrook and the Clippers would just make them worse.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I don't like that at all.
But Bradley Beal I think could fit, but they would have to would they move PG-13?
No. They would want to keep those two. They would have to do picks, or I don't know. They traded all their picks though.
Yeah.
I don't know that they couldn't even really make that happen, honestly.
Yeah, I mean Reggie Jackson would definitely be gone.
Their big Zubac, they had to throw him in there.
He weak.
They'd gladly throw him in there.
Yeah, like bruh, after watching him against Jokic is a monster, but Zubac was like I remember when he was on the Lakers, everybody had high hopes for him. Like he didn't even deserve to be on the same court as Jokic. It was just like it was so bad.
But
Zubac is a bum.
What the Clippers need most is a point guard to me. That's why
I was about to say Beal's not that.
Yeah, he's not that. So I was thinking they really do. If they could get Lonzo, that'd be a good trade. Or if Golden State could flip Oubre for Lonzo, that would also be a better fit. Why you say ugh?
I at this point, I don't know if anybody would want Oubre.
That's a good point, but
like we talked about before, I said I think me running the floor in the current shape that I'm in, I could still probably shoot a just as good a field goal percentage from 3-point as Kelly Oubre could right now.
Sub 20%. But yeah, I mean, the Pelicans are stinky though, so they should do whatever they can. That team doesn't fit together at all.
No, I said it would.
You said you wouldn't. Yeah, you called that. Yeah. Ryan, you want to say anything about this attention-seeking chick who tried to get clout off LeBron last night?
I can't. Yeah, I mean, so there's a lot going on with this, and I don't feel like. I feel like she's getting a lot of hate for things that I don't think she deserves. Like, I don't think she's clout chasing. I think she got attention because she was involved in something, and she is a female that looks a certain way. So therefore, people immediately thought she was, trying to get attention. But watching all the stories, watching her posts, and watching other angles of it now, and hearing what people are saying, I feel like a fan said something to LeBron, and this guy has said something to LeBron on a couple occasions because he's been at the front row, and the guy who said it, his name is Chris Carlos, and he is Atlanta like royalty wealth. He's like secret wealth here. His family started one of the biggest trading companies in Atlanta. He went to Woodward Academy, then went to Florida, and then became like he inherited his father's company, and like they like donate to many of the large organizations right here, and he is wealthy. So he's been a face in the front row for the Hawks for years, and like when I saw him, I was like, oh yeah, I know him. I remember him on the sideline all the time. If you've gone to games, you've seen him. But he's a real Atlanta Hawks fan. Like, he's not like one of these guys that go to the games that have this money and they're there just for the show. Like, he is flashy because he's wealthy, and he has a arm candy wife because he's like 50 something and she's 25. And she's about as old as his daughter. So it appears that way, but he's a big fan, and so he does not like LeBron, and he doesn't like him because he's beaten the Hawks so many times. And he said something to LeBron. That hasn't come out yet. LeBron chirped back and told him to shut his ass up. She, as the wife, took up for her husband and said, hey, don't talk to my husband like that. And now that's come out on different videos, LeBron turns to her and says, shut up, bitch. And then that's when she was like, fuck you. And then she's like, and then he said something back to her husband. And that's when she's like, don't fucking talk to my husband like that. And that's when you've seen a lot of the videos kick in. And LeBron, LeBron at that point stepped away because everyone got in there. And then they got kicked out. LeBron said he didn't want him to be kicked out.
Yeah, I heard him say that.
So I feel like, and I've heard a lot of things too on the media, and this is going to come sounding out away, but every time I've seen them mentioned in the media, especially by certain members, their race is brought up. And if you watch all the videos, they're both white.
Okay.
Chris
Carlos isn't Spanish?
I don't think so. He's Italian, actually.
Carlos?
I know. I was like, huh? But so every time they talk about him, they call her Courtside Karen.
Yeah, I heard that.
And what's her face? Cowherd's co-host.
Cowherd.
Joy Taylor.
Joy Taylor mentioned that when she was trying to chop her down, she was like, and it doesn't look good at a white woman talking at a black man like that, and all this type of thing. It's like, why is that being brought into this? And I feel like they're unjustly being attacked simply because of that. And I'm not that way at all. Yeah. But when I'm looking at this situation and reviewing just the facts, they're being attacked in a way that I don't agree with.
Well, here's my issue with it is you don't know all of the facts because the husband had to have said something out of bounds to warrant a reaction from LeBron, because I mean, and that's very, very common where fans say something that's just completely over the line, and then so when the player does respond, she's sticking up for her husband, but the way she's gonna tell it in a way like he was the one that was all in the wrong. But it was like, what did your husband say to set LeBron off? And it's like, because if you called him the N-word, or
I don't think he did that.
No,
I don't think he did that. But I'm just saying, or said something foul, made a comment about his mom, which is something I've heard fans do. Then and he responded to you, and LeBron has the right to respond. My frustration is I've gotten to a debate with somebody earlier about it today, and it's like, well, heckling is part of the job. Yeah, it is, but at a certain point there are lines. Like you can't just say any, like comedian Bill Burr said it best. He's like, he loved the bench clearing brawl, the malice at the palace, because he's like, think about all of the rude things that these out of shape fans say to players, knowing that the players can't come touch. And he said, well, guess what? Like, oh yeah, come on up here. Well, the players came up there and they beat the shit out of everybody. So I'm like, yeah, there's a level of respect that you should have for the players. And I think that fans often cross that line. And when the players react, yes, she was just defending her husband, but honestly, I think he said something that riled up a response from LeBron. And
okay, that's fine, Micah. And if he did cross the line, then he deserves to be put in his place by LeBron. But who's getting all the negative attention in this?
I mean,
well, that's because fans are held to a certain conduct.
No, she is.
That's because she acted crazily. She was all on camera looking crazy.
Was she
telling someone not to talk to their husband that way?
Yeah, listen. Y'all let me give my take. So I don't care what you say to the players. You can say whatever you want. But at the end of the day, yes, trash talking is a part of the game, right? So if your husband says something to LeBron says something back, that's her youth and immaturity getting all, oh, don't talk to my husband like that.
Well, hold on. She didn't do that. She didn't get loud until she said, "Don't talk to my husband like that."
Don't say that. Like,
and then he turned to her and said, "Shut up, bitch." And then that's when she got loud.
And she deserved that. So you can talk. You can.
She got deserved to be called a bitch.
No, don't call her a bitch. But I'm saying if he talks to you, if he's talking shit to you, and you talk back to him, who is she to get up and say, "Don't talk to my husband like that. Don't talk to LeBron like that." I'm just saying it goes both ways.
The way that she and I agree if he did say something rude.
The way that she grandstood after making all her expressions, doing all that stuff, getting on her social media, that just shows immaturity. So yeah, she's gonna come out looking like the fool because she looked the most foolish. Because
she got immediately tagged on. She had to take her Instagram down because she immediately got attacked.
No one gives a goddamn who she is.
Marco, people sought her out, found her on Instagram, and started attacking her. What do you mean? She didn't post anything.
That doesn't. You don't have to do
responded
shit.
once she got.
You don't have to.
What do you mean?
You don't have to. Like that's that youth. Like to defend my pride on social media. Who the fuck cares who thinks of what on social media?
Well,
it's not just social. It's the world at that point, Marco. It's not just social media.
How does that affect her?
It started on television. It was on national television, Marco.
Because her husband out here talking shit to LeBron, the most famous basketball player in the world.
And
you don't think that's a ploy to get some attention? Like, come on, man.
He
you're
doesn't
like the only fan. You're like there's like 10 fans in the goddamn building, and you're gonna be the one who's talking shit to LeBron? Come on,
man. I don't know.
Come on,
I feel like
my only thing was she didn't have to come to her husband's defense.
She didn't.
Her husband said something. LeBron reacted. If your husband said something foul, you didn't have to he deserved it. You might be there by his side, but you don't have to say, "Don't talk to my husband that way." What if LeBron said, "Well, don't let him talk to me that way."
Right.
I want to hear what he said because, like, usually when the fans are like clearly in the wrong, like when it happened to Westbrook in Utah, he said what they said. When Isaiah went into the stands in Boston, he said what they said. Like he said what was provoked, what made elicited that reaction. This you haven't heard anything, but you've seen. Like I want to hear what he said.
But LeBron, we're acting like LeBron went over there and had some long conversation with him and said something really disrespectful. At most, he's like, "Shut the fuck up." And she's like, "Oh, don't talk to my husband like that." Well, don't talk to LeBron.
Don't you respond to my husband. He's talking trash. You don't have the right to respond to my husband.
Yeah, exactly. That's how I feel. That's what Micah said. Exactly. That's the energy I get when she's sitting there talking about don't talk to my husband like that. Why? Because you're at courtside? Because you have money? Like who are you? Like who are you?
I mean, I get that point of view, but I have to hear the whole.
Her a bitch, but sometimes people acting irrationally act like bitches.
I don't necessarily agree with him calling her that, but at the same time, like I said, she interjected herself into I won't even say altercation,
to an exchange, a heated exchange.
Yeah, a heated exchange. She interjected herself in a heated exchange, so of course she got fired back on, and then she became the victim after he fired back at her, and that's my only thing. Now granted, I don't agree with fans. Now I like one of my coworkers, she calls LeBron the male Beyonce because he's got so many jockers and stuff, folks, like he can't do wrong in so many people's eyes.
He sure does.
But at the end of the day, it's like, I don't necessarily think he was wrong in that. Now, like I said, he could have used a different term. He could have just didn't tell your husband not to talk to me any kind of way. He could have handled it better, but at the same time, I don't necessarily think he was in the wrong. But people are trying, like, it's either because I was told like, oh, LeBron is soft, you're supposed to just take it. Like, yeah, but at a certain point,
I mean, you can say, but I agree with you, Ryan. I don't think that they should have sensationalized it the way they did and attacked. Right. I hate the whole Karen thing. I hate that. But like Micah said, you get involved in the heated exchange with the most popular NBA player in the whole freaking world. It's gonna make the news.
But also, also you talked about Russell Westbrook and Isaiah telling what the person said. LeBron is way more polished than them.
Right, and that's why it's like he's held to this standard, and he just popped off and called a woman a bitch, and everyone's like, meh.
Well, but
she's
I mean,
the problem.
No, in game,
I don't think it's a problem.
In game is one thing, but I'm talking about like with press. The reason, like Russell Westbrook always speaks his mind. It doesn't matter. Isaiah Thomas spoke his mind all the time. LeBron has always been the more polished, the more thoughtful. Everything is measured as far as when dealing with the press, everything is measured. But in game, it's a little different. That adrenaline's flowing and, competitive. Somebody says the wrong thing to you, you pop off. His wife says something in response to you. It's like, shut up. Who are you? And then it escalated. Now, granted,
go ahead.
I don't necessarily agree with them kicking them out the arena either, but at least they didn't ban them.
It all depends on what he said.
The reason that they got kicked out is not because of the exchange LeBron had with the husband. The reason they got kicked out is because when she got offended, she became demonstrative. The camera literally cut to her and she's like, doing all this kind of stuff. You got to get them out of here.
Yeah. But nah, I mean, but here's the thing. I think he said something foul because, he hadn't released what he said, but at the end of the day, first of all, the original act very rarely gets televised. You always see the response. But then second of all, how, like in almost 20 years in the league, how often has LeBron snapped at a fan, responded to a fan? So the fact that he did means he must have said something that worked his nerve.
But then, it's like when you look at the footage, you don't see the husband acting crazily. You don't see LeBron acting crazily. It's all Juliana.
Pointing.
Yeah, pointing, looking like angry, like a Karen, like how the Karens be looking. And I hate that, I hate sweeping broad strokes, but she definitely, got the backlash based on how she reacted.
LeBron called him old steroid ass.
Old steroid ass.
Have y'all seen him?
No.
No, he's like 50 something and just fucking jacked and veins everywhere.
Here's Carlos.
Old steroid.
Okay, I see him right here. He looks like Mike Bell.
He does. I thought that too. But here's another thing. LeBron took to Twitter after the game and posted, "Courtside Karen was mad," and laughing faces.
Yeah.
This is a step outside of LeBron's
Yeah, he doesn't get that petty usually.
Yeah.
At least not with fans. He does it with other players.
Yeah.
I don't know. I'm sure he has before. Like LeBron I've seen clips where LeBron literally was cursing at fans, but it didn't. It's not a big deal because that's what happens in NBA games. But when, you know what I mean. But when when you're like one of how many fans were even in the building? Like 1,000,
1,400.
1,400. You're one of 1,400 fans right there by courtside. I don't know. She just drew a lot of attention to herself. And to me, that just is an indication of extreme immaturity. And it doesn't surprise me that she looks the way she looks and she's as old as she is because, I don't know, it all falls in line.
So I got to give Jeremy from Georgia Followers a shout out because he posted one of the sub-tweet funniest things I've seen because he reposted it. He was one of the first people that had the video up on Georgia Followers, so props to him. But he also posted today her additional story, and he was writing his little piece on it on what he thought about it each time. And he's like, I would have been mad too. I hate LeBron, blah 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 blah. And then when she announced how old she was, that she was 25, he put 25 because she looks haggard. She is a haggard-looking 25-year-old.
Yeah, she don't look like a spry 25.
That's look like Botox and
Lots of tanning trips.
Maybe 25 was a decision she made when she realized she was gonna get a lot of publicity.
She's like, baby, I'm 25. Okay.
25. Remember?
Collagen injections.
Oh man. Well, anyway, so before we get to the Hawks, I just want to drop this quick little. I did a little research just because I was curious to see the impact, that rest in off season has sort of had on this season. So every team that was not in the bubble had nearly double the amount of off season that they typically have. The Hawks, for instance, had a 287-day off season between their last game and the start of this season. A team like Phoenix, who played to the last day of the bubble season, they had 132 days of off season, which is near the typical off season. The Lakers in Miami only had 73 games of off season, which is lowest in history for any sport, or any pro sport at least. So 127 in 2017 was the least number of games until now. So that's crazy. And then 2012, it was 196. In 1999, it was 236. And there were some other ones from like the 50s and stuff, but who cares about those? In the modern era, those are the most. And what we know about the 1999 season, if you follow basketball, that was a terrible season. Like some of the worst basketball ever played. A very mediocre Knicks team made it to the finals that year. For further perspective, a team that typically misses the playoff gets an average of around 200 days of off season. So I just dropped that to say, if you look at all the teams that didn't make the bubble, and I know it's probably because they're all sort of bad, but they're all playing really bad.
Yeah.
And I just wonder, and I think there's something to that. The Hawks as well. The Hawks are playing surprisingly well for the fact that they missed 287.
Are decimated by injuries right now.
Right, decimated by injuries. So I just wanted to drop that there, just to let people know that we should, especially with the Miami, because with Miami we're seeing it a lot. Like the fact that team went from as good as they are to like, what are they, like 7 wins now? They're like in maybe like the 14th or 13th spot. They're like down there with Washington. But the Lakers, the Lakers went a little skid after, but they managed to, stay good. But then that's because they had the momentum from actually winning the championship, whereas Miami had the frustration from taking that L. So I just want people, to consider more as we go into this season that these NBA players, a lot of them, especially like the ones who didn't make the bubble and the ones who were in the finals, they're doing some unprecedented stuff. So Hawks talk.
Oh, hold on. Before we get to the Hawks, I want to point out someone who's absolutely playing out of their ever-loving mind, and that's Nikola Jokic.
47.
And he joined Oscar Robertson as the only player in their first 10 games to have 200 points, 100 rebounds, and 100 assists in their first 10 games.
Wow.
That is crazy. That is a center.
Oh my God, he's incredible, and it's so ugly, but he just does it.
Remember when Lionel didn't know who Jokic was and said he wasn't very good?
Oh yeah,
I remember. Pepperidge Farm remembers.
Wait, you want to drop your Luka stat real quick, Mike? That was shocking to me, actually.
So, so Luka, of course, is one of the best players in the league, and even early in his career, but this season has been need to say a struggle for him from the 3-point line. Luka is shooting 29.3% from 3-point on 7 attempts per game this season. Only the great Kelly Oubre is shooting worse from this distance. So minimum 100 attempts. So like of the people who take that many threes in a game, Kelly Oubre is the only person shooting a worse percentage from the 3-point line.
29. So what he must be like?
Dude,
Oubre 29 of 100.
Right.
Yeah, like Oubre hit his first like 3. He was like 0 for 14 before he hit his first 3. So yeah,
Have y'all been watching some of these Dallas games?
Yeah, they haven't looked good.
It's like, and I know Josh Richardson is just now back. Obviously, Kristaps Porzingis. I mean, now that's just a part of his character role. He's just always going to be hurt.
I'm hurt.
But I know that's hurting them. But man, when you watch them, it looks even worse than when James Harden was doing it. It's just literally like Luka it's only Luka who touches the ball. And it's even to the point like when I see them run sets for other players, it's almost like they don't want to give the ball back to him. it's like they're icing him out.
And in this part of the play, I passed to Luka. Nope.
No.
I'm driving.
Here's the funny thing. There's two funny things that I noticed. First of all, one of the comments under the Twitter post that I found is a guy that says Westbrook is better than Luka shooting wise. No. No.
But is he statistically this season?
I don't know. I haven't really kept up with the Russell Westbrook's shooting stats, but
I know he puts them up.
And also, it's funny though, because Houston
by this much.
Houston took the offensive mind behind a lot of Dallas's scheme in Steven Silas. So they took him and made him their head coach. And now, even without James Harden, they still look fairly good.
Yeah, they went to like a top 5 defensive team in the league as soon as James Harden left. I think they've won 4 of their last 5 or something like that.
Yeah,
and man, Christian Wood is a beast.
Yes, he is. And but the crazy thing, like I said, they look fairly good, and Dallas looks kind of lost, like they can't figure out their identity now that Steven Silas is gone. So
it's interesting. Something to look out for. And just for our Hawks fans, as we get into this Hawk talk, tomorrow we have Luka. So it's going to be Trey versus Luka for the first time since 2018, because Luka sat out every other game that we played against them.
I thought Trey missed one of them interviewing
well.
Luka. I was like, wait, what?
We got Luka
sit out tomorrow too.
No, he's gonna. I mean, we don't know. I mean, he could at the last second decide to sit out, but
he could pull a Kawhi and catch COVID, or have a COVID scare.
Protocol. So let's just where did the Hawks thing go? It wasn't a lot, but I think it was pretty much just like, we're 10-10 now, which is pretty average. And to make matters worse, DeAndre Hunter just went back down with a suspect knee injury that shouldn't keep him out for too long, but they're sort of ambiguous about it. So I just really want to ask y'all, what is your favorite thing so far about the Hawks? What are you most impressed with about the Hawks, and what are you least impressed with about the Hawks? And y'all can go ahead.
Most impressed with Clint Capella. How much of an impact he's. I saw a stat like in the last 5 games he's averaging like 22 points, 18, like almost 19 rebounds, and like 5.5 blocks. And I'm like, wow, that is just ridiculous. And I've loved the addition of him, because for the longest time, that like maybe since Mutombo was in Atlanta, rebounding has always been a problem. We've always got
Theo Ratliff. You forgetting Theo Ratliff?
Yeah, I was about to say Theo was.
Yeah.
We were blessed with back-to-back centers.
That's true. But like because for that long time we had Horford, and Horford's not a rebounder.
I thought he was a decent rebounder. No,
he got a lot of rebounds because he was down by the rebound.
Right.
The rim.
Played out of position.
He was 7. He averaged about 7 or 8 a game.
Okay.
Most of the time. Josh Smith, not a great rebounder. Then we moved on and got a bunch of other Collins, who's undersized big, and so we've always been killed on the boards. We have a legitimate center who can rebound and protect the rim. It's I love watching it. Now, as far as disappointment, I have quite a few. Bogdan, but his injury, but I wouldn't have hurt myself trying to avoid Melo anyway. Melo, I just ran him over.
Trip over your own feet, hurt yourself tripping over your own feet.
But that Bogdan was a bit of a frustration. Really, the bench lately, because we've lost a lot of close games, and like yesterday, outside of Capella, Trey, and Collins.
Yeah,
I don't know if we had another person that scored double digits yesterday. Maybe I think Herter might have gotten 10.
No,
like 7.
Oh, 7. Yeah. So it's like, the role players have got to step up. We need more consistency from some of these guys who don't start. Like Camel have great games, and then he'll go and put up 5 or whatever. Like, so it's one of those things. We need more consistency from guys other than, and then Hunter was balling, and then he got hurt. So yeah, it's just one of those things. We just need to find 1 or 2 more guys who can consistently contribute on the offensive side of the ball.
Yeah, I mean, Capella's second in the league in rebounds and third in blocks. He's killing it. Most impressed with, I kind of expected Capella to fall back to his Houston days, because we've seen him do this.
Right. I feel like
he was a focal point.
He's even better than he ever was in Houston.
He's certainly getting a lot more shine. I'd say that. Where Trey is feeding him in ways that Harden never would, because Trey's a much more willing passer. But I've been most impressed with Hunter, because his expanded offensive game. Because last year I was watching him and I was like, man, he looks worse than Cam. Like his versatility on the offensive end was a 3 or just an open drive, and that was it. He had no post game. He had no mid-range game. He had no dribble drive game. It had to have been an open lane to the basket for him to take it, and he was not really going to take anybody one-on-one. And boy, has he's really improved.
Mm-hmm.
Like Cam Reddish's offensive game is improved as well. You're not getting to see it as much just because he's exerting a lot on defense, and I mean a lot on defense. Hunter seems to have taken a little bit of a gas off on the defensive end. He'll play lanes still, but he's not going to try and kill it on the defensive end. So I think he's learned the managing game a little bit better than Reddish has at this point. But Hunter's really impressed me. He's very versatile. Biggest disappointment, I'd have to say Gallinari. He's been very inefficient.
Mm-hmm.
I think he's still finding his place in this lineup, trying to figure out where he fits exactly, especially since Collins has willingly accepted he's a stretch 4 pretty much at this point.
Mm-hmm.
So that kind of takes away what Gallinari was, and he's being forced more to the wing, and that's not where his strengths are. So we'll see, but I could see how Gallinari could be a massively disappointing signing for this team, just because you've got players that are playing exceptionally well in the 2 things that he does well.
Mm-hmm.
So
I felt that when we signed him, because I always looked at him like as that guy who I always noticed like played with a limp, and I'm like, this. Every time I see Gallinari, he'd be limping around the court, and I'm like, wait, is that just how he runs? But yeah,
what's wrong with him?
My 2 would be my most impressed. I'm most impressed with our defenses, generally speaking. Like, I don't know if that's a Nate McMillan thing, but last night against the Lakers, not only was Cam like locking up LeBron, which was crazy, but we were like spacing was good. We were denying them shots. They weren't getting the looks they wanted. Even Trey was doing a good job, staying in front, but then he'd commit some foul or something. But I'm just really impressed with the defensive personality that this team has, taken on in this first 20 games. Like, this isn't a flash in the pan. We are actually a good defensive team. And I think we're ranked pretty high in most of the categories having to do with defense. Don't quote me on that, but I think
just as long as we're not like the Knicks.
Well, the Knicks are a scoring team. They'd be trying to score.
A couple weeks ago, my friend told me that the Knicks Knicks had the number 1 rated defense in the league. Yeah, I was like, we'll see about that in the season.
Let's see. So this is not 2021. This is gonna be 21.
It's 2021.
It is.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. They started in December.
Atlanta's a top 10.
Let's go.
Defensive.
I mean, I can tell just by watching our games, the scores they haven't creeped up to the 140s too many times this season.
Well, but I mean, one of the biggest things is Capella in the lane, because that's always been one of our big problems as well. Because like I said, what's his name wasn't like Horford wasn't a shot blocker, wasn't much of a shot blocker.
Yeah, not a threat.
When you get by the guard, it was always a free lane to the basket and buckets. Now it's like, oh boy, you go in that paint, Capella might send your stuff back to the 3-point line. Like,
not just might, he will.
Boy, so yeah, five. Like I said, the past 5 games, he's averaged over 5 blocks a game. So it's like, all right, Trey, just funnel them into me. I'm gonna throw it back out to you.
I was confused last night. Why was Bruno getting so? Bruno's almost like, I don't know what the hell goes through his brain when he's playing. Where was Okongwu at? Like,
yeah, I was shocked to see Bruno getting like 20 minutes. I was like,
he's not smart.
In a long time.
Let me not say he's not smart, but his basketball
his
IQ is suspect. Yeah, it's suspect. Like, he was doing a lot of dumb stuff that when we would have a nice little run going or some momentum, he would come and do a foul or set a bad screen or just something that ruined our momentum. And like, where is Okongwu at? Like, I don't know. But we have
the 7th best 3-point defense.
Yeah, that's impressive. That's that length. That's that length.
But that's why I love Cam and Hunter on the wing, because they're both really long and can contest
Herter.
Yeah,
Herter's long too. But we didn't talk about what the Nets could do to get better, but I'll just drop this because Micah said it and it reminded me. The main reason they're terrible is because neither their point guard or center are competent defenders at this point. So that's why they're all-time worst. But like you said, the reason our defense has stepped up so much is because Capella is down there. And so what I'm most disappointed in, or I don't know how we phrased it, is the offensive development of our wings. Like Cam and Herter, when DeAndre Hunter's not there, I need y'all to be better than 3 of 8. Okay. Like, they were the reason that, like, you can look at a lot of stuff like Herter's inbound passes. But if you really get down to the stat book, those 2 are the reason why we lost that game. Like, we need one of y'all to at least score 15 points when Hunter is not here. You know what I mean? Like, especially someone as talented as Cam is. You know what I mean? Come on, bro. Get to the basket. Get to the free throw line. The first year you try to boom on everybody. Where is that? Like you said, I know he was super focused on trying to stop LeBron, and I think that got him too hyped up to maybe contribute on offense. But I need more than 3 from 8 for my wings, and I just haven't necessarily seen the offensive development from those 2 that I would have expected. Like Herter, I know he's a decent shooter, but I need you to be knocked down at this point. You know what I mean? Find your place in this league, and we don't need you to be a combo guard, sort of can handle, sort of can score off the dribble. Like, no, just be really good at hitting that corner 3.
Well, I mean, he's this 4th year in the league. So
3rd year or 4th year?
You should be
with Collins. Yeah, you're right. 4th year.
You should be like Corver.
Exactly. Like, find your role. Like,
come off that screen. You come off that screen and you get the ball. You're looking to shoot, and that's
because I feel like if he's to me, he's like, he has the package to be great, or at least really good. Like, he has a handle. He's explosive. That dude can boom on people. So, like, if you focus on just being a 3-point specialist, then you can do that other stuff. Like, you can be Clay with an attack game. Because we all know Clay is like suspect off the dribble, like until his last couple of years. Like, he's always been like not really a threat. to like drive to the basket. But Herter can do that. But then it's like he's just such a tweener. Like they always have him running maybe like a combo guard type of thing, and it just doesn't work because he's not a great passer.
No, his passing is subpar.
Oh, I would even give it lower than that. like I said, that alley at the end of regulation in the Brooklyn game, like, bro, you want to get it close to the basket. Like, oh, hey, Capella, I'm gonna make it so you could do a 360. You gotta reach back, get a 360 going, and dunk it.
And I know, like you said, it's true that the shooter usually shouldn't be the inbound passer, but I've seen Steph run that play a lot, like where Steph is the inbound passer and we need a great pass to try to close this game out. And I've seen him in that role. So I would have wanted to see Trey throwing that pass to Collins at the end of that Nets game, because Herter, man, I don't know what the hell that was.
Bruh, I think Brandon Goodwin could have thrown a better pass than
and then last night he tried to like throw it into Capella. I don't know what the hell he was standing right in front of Capella, and he just like then Capella like fumbles it. And then the last one he throws it to Cam, and then Cam tries to do some crazy turnaround three and airballs it. But yeah, I don't know. Herter is a bad passer.
Oh man.
So unless anyone else has anything else to say, that's it for the layup, aka finger roll, aka jelly time, aka points in the paint.
And here comes the suicide squeeze. So this is a little baseball segment, old timey baseball. So in recent events, so last episode I did talk about how the MLBPA rejected the universal DH, the MLB's proposal for a universal DH. But by doing that, it came out as significantly reduced the chance that we might bring back Marcell Ozuna. It could still very much happen because Anthopoulos, doesn't, a lot of the rumors, you can't believe a lot of rumors when it comes to dealing with Alex Anthopoulos, because he will go against the grain sometimes. But considering how much of a defensive liability Ozuna is, it's very likely that we're not going to pay the money that he wants, and more than likely he's probably going to an American League team where somebody be willing to pay more money for just to use him as a designated hitter.
Hello, Yankees.
Yeah. Which actually I don't even know why, because they have so many bats, it's ridiculous. They overpay for everybody and don't win anything. So other news, the MLB also proposed for spring training to be pushed back a month and to reduce the season to 154 games to allow for COVID infection rates to lower, and so that they can distribute more vaccinations. However, the Players Association, the players would still be paid as if they were playing the full 162 game season. But however, the Players Association again shot down that proposal, and because they want to start on time, everything on time, and they don't want to postpone any of the games or reduce the number of games they want to play.
Who is in charge of the MLBPA? They're like comical. Like they just do whatever people want them to do. They just literally say, "Let's do the opposite."
Well, I mean, like I said, I can understand.
Oh, it's Tony Clark. He's still the president?
Yeah. I mean, I can understand, like last year when they were talking about with the shortened season, and players being fighting because they weren't going to get close to their full pay and whatnot. I can understand that. But all right, so universal DH. You basically said you rejected that because you said it doesn't benefit the National League teams to have a DH. Now these are the players. These are the players voting on this. And then when they offered you to push back spring training and to shorten the season, but you still get paid the same, you rejected that as well because you want everything to be on time. Like you're was it superstitious or something about that? Like if you push the season back, you're not going to be ready. It's just stupid to me.
Man, the baseball can't get out of its own way.
Yeah.
Like the Players Association making that dumb decision of not taking that, even though it makes more sense medically. You know, look, we are still, even though we're in a new presidential era and vaccines are on their way, they still got to catch up. And there's a lot of catch up to be done considering how bad the ball was dropped this last year. Yeah. So medical experts were like, yeah, wait a month. If you give it about another month, your chances will be much lower, like exponentially lower, because vaccines should be out around this time. You know, people should start, you know, you should see a pretty dramatic dip in that first after this, and then, you know, then it's safe to play. And they're like, nah. And then on the flip side, you've got a sport that's starved for television ratings, like absolutely starved for television ratings, and they have this gift literally handed to them in the form of, hey, here's your way to make a universal DH. Get rid of pitchers hitting. You're going to have a lot more offense, and it's going to be, you know, a more exciting game. You're going to have these high run games more often. And then they're like, nah, we're good.
I'm going to have to go with no.
That would make us a lot more money, wouldn't it? Fans would really like this. The players want to do it too? Nah. I don't like it. Something doesn't sound right, but I ain't going to do it.
Well, nah, that's the thing. The players don't want to do it.
A lot of them do. There's a
but they when the MLBPA, they voted no. So the players had votes on whether they.
That's crazy.
And they voted against it because they said it doesn't benefit the National League teams to have the DH.
I mean, that just tells me that the players are just as sideways in their mentalities as the owners.
Can't get out of their own way.
I mean, it's an old school sport, and in a lot of the thinking and everything. Now, but as far as the vaccines, another thing that we didn't think about is if you wait a little bit longer and more vaccines, you can actually bring more fans back into the stadium, and which means more revenue.
No, I don't think so.
You could potentially bring in more money for yourselves as players, but you don't think about that because that's really why baseball, and they're willing to cut 8 games out of the season and 8 games out of your brutal schedule and give you the same amount as if you played 162 games.
Hey, Roop is rolling over in his grave.
After double day is just, oh my God, it's driving him crazy. No, but yeah, that's
you make what? An average MLB salary?
Probably like 15 million.
Nah, I probably say closer to 10.
So 10 million. So 5% of 10 million would be what?
5% of 10 million is 500,000? No.
Yeah. So 500,000. So by sacrificing 8 games, you lose $500,000 if you make 10 million.
Oh wait, the average MLB salary is only 3.8.
Yeah, but that's the thing. They weren't good. The MLB wasn't going to punish them for taking 8 games away. They were going to pay them the full 10 million to play 154 games. They just wanted to do more safety precautions And I think because they want the fans, they want to bring fans back.
Hey, I got a proposal for y'all. You ready? So I'm going to offer you a job, and it's the same job you're working now, but you have to come in 5% less, and I'll pay you the same.
Mm-hmm.
I'm going to have to say no.
What?
Oh, man.
But it's for your safety. No. I don't
need safety. I don't need it.
So you don't want the same amount of money to work less and to be safer, is what you're telling me?
No.
Okay.
You're gonna throw my rhythm off because spring training doesn't start in February. You're gonna push it back to March.
I'm gonna report when I'm supposed to report. God damn it!
Oh my god.
Oh man.
We've been doing the same for.
Oh man, yeah, that's crazy to me. So here, rumor mill for the Braves. There is a rumor that the Braves might shift their focus from trying to fill that left field spot with the free agent to potentially trying to find a third baseman. They could potentially kick the tires on Justin Turner, or they can try to test the market for Jose Ramirez. I don't fully understand that, because that mind frame, because Austin Riley played very solid defensively at third base. Now his hitting could be more consistent, but that's fixable.
Is it?
It is. I mean, mentalities, the way you approach, not necessarily. I'm sorry. Be as aggressive at the plate, swinging for the fence every time. Be more willing
that's who he is.
But I mean, to be honest with you, it was our entire roster.
Pretty much.
Everybody swinging for the fence. When, like I said, that's what frustrated me in the Dodger series, because there were plenty of times where we got behind in the count, and it's like, just put the bat on the ball, put the ball in play, or you get runners in scoring position, and we can't even get a guy to put the ball in play because they're so busy trying to hit the big bomb to tie the game or to go ahead. So it's like, no, just be smart, be smarter at the plate, take care of the. But I mean, defensively, Austin Riley was a very good third baseman. Not to mention, he was a very trash left fielder. So if we get Justin Turner or Jose Ramirez, where are you going to put Austin Riley?
Left field.
I hope not. I mean, because if that's the case, I'd much rather just get Ozuna and put him out there, and it just big as hole, but at least you're going to get better hitting.
Micah, as a perfect segue, did you hear, because you were mentioning third base and the need for better hitting, the Atlanta Braves have hired Chipper Jones as a hitting consultant?
I did hear that.
I did hear that. Which is very key, because he was a very smart hitter, as well as, a guy with power.
Man, that man can work a count and hit it anywhere you asked him to, or he needed to.
That's a lost art, though. I mean, the Dodgers were doing it against us all day, but
I just hope, for the love of God, that he stops Albies from hitting lefty. Just go righty. Just go with your strength, bro.
Right. He puts his arm around him. He's like, "Hey, man, what's your name again?" Ozzy. That's right. So yeah, about that left-handed thing, or that hitting left. We're not going to do that anymore.
That experiment's over.
You're not me.
You had it was a good run. I mean, I know it's a niche thing. I get it. You want to be different. You want to be able to hit from both sides. But see, there's a word in there that you're not really doing. That's hitting. That's from the left side, and we're just gonna cut that out. Like, you're an all-star from the right side. The only reason you made the all-star game is because of the right side. From the left side, you're just you're Dansby Swanson, okay? Let's be honest.
like if you could only hit against lefties, then you'd legitimately be 40-40 guy. But there are a lot more righties in the league than lefties. So
just stick to one.
You'd bet over 300 hitting from the right side,
which is the complete opposite if you think about it. You see righties more, which means you should be better at hitting righties.
Yep.
But he hits better against lefties, which he sees less.
He's a natural right-handed hitter.
Yeah, exactly.
And he's forcing the batting as a lefty. So
he's overthinking it is what he's doing.
Exactly.
All right. So and the last thing I wanted to touch on, so Mike Foltynewicz, is drawing attention from both the Mets and the White Sox. He threw a session at Georgia Tech this past weekend, I believe, and they said his fastball was sitting in the 90 to 92 miles per hour range. So
please sign him, Mets. Please.
He's starting to get his arm back a little bit, which I mean, good for him. Wish him well. Hopefully he gets a deal with either one of those teams. But yeah, I mean, whatever. I don't know what happened to him, why his arm just shot out, but good luck in the future, man.
Because he's like, stop being a bitch.
Oh man.
Well, he was one of the most mentally fragile athletes I've ever seen or heard of. Like literally wearing a bracelet to tell himself to stop being a bitch. That's wild.
And that's the end of the suicide squeeze.
Was it a successful suicide squeeze? Did we score?
If it's the Braves, no.
Yikes.
We don't know how to bunt.
Yikes.
That is true. We have completely, like Atlanta, who was a small ball team for so long. And we don't know how to do it now.
It's
when we try it, it almost looks embarrassing.
We foul it off.
Right.
We whiff.
It's like they pretend they weren't trying to bunt.
Or like I said, we try to suicide squeeze and we completely whiff on the ball on the butt, and the guy gets caught in a rundown between third and home. Oh my God.
I always remember Dansby for his choky base running.
Oh God.
Okay. So, are we doing a lightning round? Because I actually have a question.
Yes. I was just looking for one. Yes, give me one. Let's hear it.
So, I was thinking we talked about first celebrity crush, but this is a play. We have hall pass, the hall pass concept. If you're in a relationship, now granted, me and Marco aren't in relationships.
Right, who we getting our hall pass from? God, from Jesus. He's giving us the hall pass.
If you were in a relationship and you could choose any celebrity to get a hall pass for, who would it be? Ryan, I'm pretty sure I know yours.
Oh yeah?
Yeah.
Who do you think mine is?
Trying to read.
According to Nicole, yours would probably be Meg Thee Stallion.
Yeah, so you already know it.
Yeah.
Really? You find her that attractive?
Boy, it's not about attractiveness. It's about what she could do.
Yeah.
What, because her raps?
Yeah,
no,
that's it. Her lyrical
or she gonna body press you. She gonna put you in a tombstone pile driver.
She's not even that big. She's only like 140 pounds. She looks
she's not.
I looked her up.
She's 5'10". She's 5'10".
I know, and I thought she would be like a $190 or $180. Like her reported weight was like 146.
Yeah, but they lie on those kind of things too.
She's a stout 146.
She's a very thick lower half, but if you look at her upper body, she's very, very petite.
Yeah, but at the same time, that's still, lower body, legs are heavy.
143 pounds.
Very dainty, huh?
Marco?
So when you say celebrity, is there like a follower threshold, or can it just be an IG chick?
I mean, it depends. Who would that be?
Hold on, wait. You say yours real quick. Let me scroll real quick. Hold on, real quick. Say yours.
I'm actually it's tough for me though, because I got a couple.
Tahiri. What was her name?
Tajiri? Tajiri? She got sort of like thinking the wrong way.
Yeah.
Tahiri, Joe Budden's ex.
Yeah.
Joe Budden's.
Not Tahiri. What was her name? She was like the plus size model.
Takara,
yeah.
Probably a while ago. Nah, I'm gonna tell you with me. It'd probably be Jill Scott.
Jill Scott?
Yes. If you've seen her show, you'd know why.
Huh?
She went viral on Twitter for certain acts that she performed during her show.
What'd she do?
Which included a microphone and the two-handed
Oh, I remember that.
Yeah.
She was gawking a microphone?
Pretty much.
Was this pre-COVID?
She was making love to it.
Yeah.
Mine at the moment, it always shifts, but mine at the moment would probably be this blonde gummy bear chick. Just blonde because the yummy bear or blonde gummy bear, because her content is top notch.
I've never heard of such person.
Do you see her? Blonde gummy bear.
Yeah.
The yummy bear. I follow her on OnlyFans. She probably has the best OnlyFans content ever.
Good Lord, that ass is fake.
Good Lord, that's fake.
It's not even like.
Oh, it moves realistically. I've looked at the OnlyFans.
Yeah, but it's probably like BBL. So
why y'all judging? Who cares if it's fake?
Well, nah, I mean
that is a fake ass. Oh my
BBL. BBL is fat,
BBLs
but
feel real.
I mean it's real fat, but it's just. I
hope that.
It can look, especially if the legs don't match, it can look really awkward.
Like that thing, Juicy. Or if we're talking about porn stars, I'm gonna go with Sarah Banks. I like Sarah Banks.
Conversation.
Is it Sarah? Yeah, Sarah Banks. Or is it Sasha Banks?
What'd you say, Ryan?
This conversation definitely got interesting.
Yeah. He just porn.
You said celebrities, man. Well, I mean, yeah, I mean, the funny thing, like I was thinking about this, like celebrities used to be the girls that everybody like longed after, right?
Yeah.
They used to be like the most attractive.
Yeah.
If you think about it, the most attractive girls aren't even celebrities anymore.
They're all Instagram models.
Yeah, they're all IG models. But it used to be like, oh, Megan Good or Megan Fox or what's my
That's true.
Nia Long.
Like it used to be all Tyra Banks. Even though she's just a model, but it used to be the Hollywood aspect was where you found your attraction. But now, like Jessica Alba and Alyssa Milano,
the most exposed.
Well, I also think that
and your singers,
the body types are different too. I mean, most of those women are like real, like pencil thin, like real slim. But you like a woman with more meat on her bone, a little curvier.
This is a Lego Millennium Falcon. Yeah, but Sarah Banks, or is it Sarah or Sasha? It's Sarah. She's not like all thick like that, but I dig her. She sees.
Yeah, but nah, I mean that was something a little, I guess, something that I wondered about, which like I said, Ryan, I already knew what yours was, but
yeah.
He read you.
Nah. I just know when I talked to Nicole about the whole actor, if you could get an actor to play us.
Oh yeah.
And she was like, yeah, Ryan would probably get Meg Thee Stallion to play me in the movie. And I was like,
I also like the one with the who's the girl who always doing splits?
Rachel Fit.
Rachel Fit, yeah.
Yeah.
She has she did porn before.
Yeah, I heard.
She didn't look like she looks now, but she definitely was.
She was very thin then.
Yeah, exactly. And very neurotic and crazy, which I'm sure she still is.
Yeah.
That's not a very uncommon trait.
Nice lightning round question though, Micah. Dig up the dirt.
Marco enjoyed that one.
Marco had to analytically break it down. So, are we talking Instagram models? Are we talking porn stars? Are we talking movie
You should have put some limitations on me. Like, yo, they actually have to be famous, like a real.
He's like, yeah, Sarah.
Sarah, exactly.
Like, bro, imagine
like 600 followers.
Like, imagine if you were like in a relationship and your girl legitimately asked you, "I'll give you a hall pass for any celebrity," and you're like, yeah, I'll take this girl on Instagram."
Her.
Right. Look, she got 20K. She lives in the hall. She lives down the hall. Yeah, but you said
celebrity. What is celebrity?
IG famous.
Like, this photo had 10K likes. That's a celeb.
Oh God. All right, let's wrap this up.
That is funny. Yeah, that is funny though. That nowadays, even that the whole concept of a hall pass even has to change just because celebrities aren't the desired ones anymore. So,
oh man,
for women it still works.
Yeah, but I mean, to maybe to us, but there are some people who still believe, like Beyonce is a 10.
But she's old. I'm just saying, like,
at no point,
at
no point in her life was she a perfect 10 for me, and she's beautiful,
like a strong 8.
Yeah. But I mean, like, body wise, she's never been.
She's not my dream girl at all.
Yeah,
but she's.
I just don't like her.
There's times where she's very attractive, but I'm just saying, like, not to make this go on much longer, but name one like actress who's just like the bee's knees, like who you just like give it all for right now, and not like old ones that people used to say, like a new one.
Actress.
Yeah, or you could. I mean, let's exclude singers since they all look like IG models now.
Yeah.
I got a weird one that I've always found very attractive, but I don't think a lot of people do. Taraji P. Henson.
Okay, she's crazy. Did you see her on Hot Ones? She is
I didn't.
Psychopath.
Yeah, she always struck me as a little thrown off.
Yeah, she's wild crazy.
Oh man. I mean, of course, my first crush, Nia Long.
I said ones that people like now.
Oh, now
that's funny. Taraji old as hell too.
Modern day. But here's the thing. I find Zendaya extrememely beautiful.
Oh, okay.
But she's skinny for my taste. But she
looks real normal.
Yeah, she's really gorgeous.
I'll take that. I'll take Zendaya. Or Lenny Kravitz's daughter, even though I don't really find her that attractive.
Zoe.
She's very pretty. Zazie Beetz.
Yeah, that's another one. Yeah.
Who is that? Zazie Beetz? I
Yeah,
feel like I know the face, but not the name.
She played Domino in Deadpool 2.
Ah.
Yeah.
Ah.
Yeah, I can't really think of any off the top of my head that are like.
Just like the new
like people are like Margot Robbie. I'm like, she's.
I like Margot Robbie actually.
She's pretty,
like
but she's not my type. ScarJo, like.
Have y'all ever seen Mad Men?
Yeah.
I love the redhead from Mad Men. I love
Christina
her.
Hendrickson.
Yeah, I love her.
Yeah. The boobs.
Yeah, and just her face.
Yeah.
And then I also like the blonde who was in Mad Men.
Don't know her.
All right, let's get out of this this topic. So
We're man. This is a man topic.
Manly man.
hashtag man
conversation.
podcast.
Oh, we might take some heat for the some of the comments though.
Micah, see us out, man.
So that brings you the end of which episode is this?
39.
Of episode 39 of Fish and Grits, the podcast. I'm Micah. This is Ryan, and this is Marco. So if you like fish and grits and all that sports shit, everybody let me hear you say,
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Peace.